Holy crap, look at you! It's been a while. One Piece with a lime. I see you're still listening to this crap. Couldn't pay me enough. I guess they managed to scrape enough coin to bring me back, so let me just... Whoa there, buckaroo! I know you're all excited and whatnot to jump right into this here house fire, but let me give you the rundown real smoothly. This here is a spoilercast, meaning your pretty little self is about to walk into some serious mango pango. So if you're not caught up, I'd recommend turning back and walking over to that Naruto place there. If it makes you feel any better, I wouldn't mind watching you walk away, cutie. Oh, so you're all caught up, huh? That's impressive. Go right in. By the way, they got some guy named Tekking for this one. I think he's their cousin or something.
Are you with me, Justin?
Yes, I am. I'm here.
I am happy to announce we have a very special Spoilercast this afternoon. Spoilercast with a very special guest in the One Piece community, a gentleman by the name of Tekking. Tekking, how are you, sir? Are you there? Are you out there?
I am good, and I am here. Thank you so much for having me on. There was the other podcast, One Piece with Lemon, but that one, I don't know if that fits for me, so here I am.
Lemons are lame. Limes, they're in.
We talk to those guys from time to time, and honestly, I'm pretty sure that they're dealing with a money laundering scandal right now.
Wait,
so
is that
honestly,
an actual podcast? I have no idea.
No, not in the slightest.
Listen, you threw off the alley-oop, but we just dunked it in, all right?
You don't know how many. I don't know. I was making a guess there. I could have been right. There could have been another one. There could have been a fierce rivalry. I don't know.
No, there's no rivalry whatsoever.
Plot twist. This is where I start my own spin-off podcast to rival this one.
We have a very cornered market in One Piece review podcasts named after fruit. Make no mistake.
Which ironic, given that One Piece has devil fruits. So
you see,
yeah.
How intelligent are we?
That's
actually, if you
totally planned, all big brain,
100%.
If you're curious about our lore, at one point we were going to be One Piece at a time, but we had to roll that one back after we realized that Funimation had an actual full podcast of the same name.
It hadn't been uploaded in years, but we were not trying to poke the bear.
That's not entirely true.
No,
that's not entirely true. I think at the time they were going through Water 7, but they didn't go much farther. They stopped in Water 7 with their formal podcast or whatever about it. And it was still active, but now it's long since been completely abandoned. I think another channel's even taken it over.
Yeah, I remember I saw that. I was like, hold on. So Funimation took down their original podcast, and then some random schmuck just takes their name, and I'm like, this could have been us. What the?
That happens. Because names when we did One Piece D&D, there was already a One Piece D&D before we started ours.
Sure,
but I think they only went a couple episodes and then they stopped, and so it was one of those things where it's all right, we're not the first people to do this, but come on, it's we're going to do it differently. So here we are. Yeah,
the people.
Yeah.
Honestly though, I've sort of grown accustomed to our name, One Piece with a Lime, because it honestly just as soon as you tell somebody that that's your podcast name, they're like, who the fuck came up with that name?
I had it has a ring to it. It definitely does.
And the first time I ever saw it in acronym form, it's OP Wall or something like that. And I'm like, honestly, that's kind of fire.
Yeah, the first time a listener hit us with that, I was like, I had to think about it a little too hard. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, we literally started this Discord to engage with our community because we're trying to care about that sort of thing. And somebody as an acronym put Opewall one day.
Opewall.
And honestly, I had to do a double take. I'm like, what on earth is Opewall? Am I missing something? What are these Zoomers coming up with now? And then I was like, wait a minute, that's us. I'm Opewall.
Hey, you have an acronym, man. You have a shortened form. You're there. You made it.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I'm not saying that we've succeeded in everything in life. I'm just saying that when we got that acronym, our podcast very much elevated.
When I die and I'm buried, best believe this podcast title is going on my gravestone.
I mean, sure, yeah, it's your gravestone. You can do whatever you want with it, man.
Someone's gonna walk past that looking for grandma, and they'll be like, "Who's this guy? What's One Piece with the Lime? I guess gotta go check that out."
Yeah. That's what tombstones are going to be in 20, 30 years. They're just going to have they're going to have QR codes lasered into them.
Oh my God. They're gonna have there's gonna be a QR code. It'll list all of their accomplishments. It'll be like it'll be like linked to the LinkedIn of their life or something.
Their link tree or whatever they're called. It's just like, here's everything that I was in life. Go and watch all my stuff.
This is far more dystopian than I would have ever anticipated.
This is actually a really dystopian idea, and I don't know how I feel
you know
about
what?
it.
I threw that out there as just like a thing, as like funny, but like I imagine somebody has probably installed a QR code on one of their tombstones somewhere in the world. That is probably a thing.
You know, we're trying to like
Guarantee that's
monetize
happened.
gravestones at this point. Like someone just put a little LED board and like, here's an ad for Coca-Cola.
Oh yeah.
Okay, don't you dare bring advertisements into a tombstone idea into my brain. I don't know if I'll ever recover.
We watched One Piece this week.
We lived One Piece this week. Isn't that right, gents? We lived it because that's what Spoilercasts are. We live the show. I do want to thank Gabriel, who is he is not a active member in like the actual podcast, but he was the guy who actually reached out to you in your stream for making the vast majority of this happen. He's a true homie. He is one of our unpaid intro.
Shout out to our intern.
Thank you, intern.
One of our unpaid interns. We have many. I don't know why they agree to this shit, but you know, it'd be that
exposure,
way.
Brendan. Exposure.
Yeah, they're getting paid in exposure. So shout out to Gabriel. And you know, I do want to say, so we'll probably go into like a lot of like current material. Like later throughout the cast. I don't know if you have the same outline that we have, Tekking, but don't worry, I have it pulled up. Yeah, all right. We'll guide you along. I will say we are getting close to going into Dressrosa on our podcast. We've been doing our cast a little, I think, not long after you guys started One Piece D&D. Probably we've been doing. We just passed our 3-year mark. I think back in like February.
So that would have been like late March, early April 2020. Like so during COVID, during lockdown, essentially
We started. I want to say. It was not long before lockdown, but it was like a month and a half before lockdown was when like our first couple episodes came out. I remember because I was driving back and forth from where I was working at the time, which happened to be like a state away every weekend. And I would listen to our podcast every weekend drive back. It was glorious. But we will be going into Dressrosa soon. So we have a couple of questions related to the Dressrosa arc specifically before we get into the curtain content, curtain material, whatever. And I guess we might as well just jump straight into the first of our questions here. So two of our other guys are on the cast, Christian and Devin. They're new watchers. Christian, to be fair, watched through, I think, Alabasta before we started the podcast once. But then, like, all that knowledge got completely purged out of his brain before we started again.
He also did, I think, largely through the movies. Sacrilegious, in my opinion. But no.
I don't think it's sacrilegious. I just think using the Chopper movie as a replacement, which he absolutely did once upon a time.
No. That's
crime.
not. You don't. No, you don't do that. Now, I was going to say the Alabasta movie is just like an abridged form of the arc, and the Chopper movie is a complete retelling. So that's not. Yeah, don't do that.
That is a revisionist. Telling of that arc.
It's actually funny because we rewatched that too, like because we do the movies and like one-off specials every so often on our podcast too, just like for fun and whatnot. And I actually did that episode with Christian. And we were talking about it because I remember he said that he watched the episode of Chopper in lieu of watching the vast majority of the arc during like normal One Piece airtime. And he was like, I do not remember Frankie making an appearance. I don't remember Robin making an appearance.
You got to understand, Frankie is my favorite character. So anything with more Frankie, I'm for. But he's not a major part of that movie. I mean, there are now 2 movies that exist only because Chopper is adorable and he's a marketing darling, and that's the reason. Yeah,
that do be fair. You know, honestly, I didn't even hate that Chopper movie though. Out of like the older ones,
it's like whatever.
It's like okay, it's cute, it's fun. I'm here for some campy once in a while. Plus, I got that really dumb line about Usopp making a boomerang or something, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember it made me laugh super hard to the point where I started like busting out laughing.
The first 3 One Piece movies they're not that bad. I have a lot of I'm just okay with them because they're only like 50 minutes long, so it's like they're like 2-3 episodes in a row basically. There's no harm, no foul on that, you know.
I remember genuinely being like surprised by how much I actually really enjoyed. I think it was Dead End Adventure or something like that.
Oh, that's a good one. That was the first feature length movie. That was the 4th one, and that's a really good movie.
The candy motherfucker, right? Yeah, I actually really
Gaspard,
did like that
who
one.
has the candy logia. Yeah.
My God, Gasparde. I can't believe it. You've actually... Do you remember the dude with the shovel? If you can remember the shovel guy's name, you'll be my best friend.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. I know. He looks like Sabo. I am convinced to this day he is
Sabo question.
He is essentially a prototype design for Sabo.
Honestly,
the name is I'm blanking on the name right now, but
That's okay. This isn't a quiz show. Make no mistake.
I remember he has sickle written on his, like, he has a Kill Bill like outfit, like the yellow jumpsuit outfit, and he had sickle written on it. But other than that, I don't remember his name. I did a review of this, but it was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, when we covered it, I remember we gave him one of our reoccurring bits is we always give an award to who we thought was the coolest character or whoever the memeiest character was. I remember we gave it to him when we covered the movie. Not that I could remember his name.
I mean, he's honestly not a bad movie character. He's really, as far as the movie characters go, he is definitely up there top 5.
To answer your question, after I literally Google searched shovel guy from One Piece movie, the result was Shiraya Bascool.
Shiraya, yeah.
That is it.
Yeah, Bascool something was his last name, yeah.
I just love the fact that you just type in shovel guy from One Piece and Google just knows exactly who you're talking about.
Listen, man.
I was, I remember one joke that I should have made there was, I think I said something like, oh, yeah, he uses a shovel. Who else uses a shovel? And everyone's like, you could have made a Shovel Knight joke. And I love Shovel Knight. And I'm like, damn it.
You could have used a Shovel Knight sound effect when you were editing.
Yes, I could have 100%. And it's one of those editing mistakes that I'll never live down.
That's okay. We'll live it down for you. Don't worry, man. But getting back somewhat on topic, we are about to cover Dressrosa. Devin and Christian are our resident new guys as we're covering the series. We're currently partway through Punk Hazard. It says here, like, what are we excited for Devin and Christian to experience? We can extend that to you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, like, what are you? If you wanted to tell brand new people that were about to go into Dressrosa, what would you say seems like one of the more worthwhile things?
Okay, if you really like Law, you're going to get his backstory, get ready for that. There you go. Yeah. If you're one of those people that just like, oh my God, it's Law, if that's you, you're going to love this arc. I mean, you're going to love and hate it, but you're going to love it.
There's definitely a lot of hating in very loose terms of, wow, there's so many tears on my hands. What happened?
Yep.
How did we get here?
Mm-hmm,
Why am I crying?
Yeah, I think Law is just a universally liked dude because he tends to be also very high in the popularity brackets within our own server even.
He just ticks so many boxes. He's sword guy. Cool. Already checked that box off. He's got cool hat. Check that box off. He's got tattoos, has punk rock metal aesthetic. Goatee. Check that out. The sideburns actually really cool. Doctor, that checks the box for somebody else. He
crazy,
has
weird, awesome power.
Definitely that room. OP.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of boxes checked off.
His fucking devil fruit is like wild. When you first introduce him in like Saba Odi, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, he's like a Jenga man.
I have no idea what his ability was when it was first appeared. Like nobody did. It was like, this is what is this? What is he doing?
what do you be doing, my man?
Yeah.
And then like all of a sudden you get to Punk Hazard and you're like, oh. So as long as room, he can do basically whatever he wants.
Yeah. I have a theory because I feel like Oda always wanted like Kid to be sort of like the fan favorite out of the supernovas. Like that's what he intended. But because he had the highest bounty, even higher than Luffy at the time. And so he was like, okay, I'm going to really focus on Kid. And then you get Law and everybody just lost it over Law. And it's like, okay, well, the editors probably are like, okay, you need to get Law back in the story. And so he shows up at Punk Hazard like right after the time skip. Like he's the first one we meet. And it's like, we need to get to his stuff now.
Oda was like, people are going to love the power of magnetism, right? and then you just have room in the corner and we're like, we like this one.
It's so fitting because like we didn't know Eustace Kid's devil fruit name for so long. And then somebody finally got around to asking him in the SBS and Oda's reaction was, oh, I thought I already revealed it already. I'm so sorry. Here it is. It's the Jiki no Mi. I thought I revealed that a while ago. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Goddamn fucking Kid, dude.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the guy. I have a very similar impression. I definitely think that Kid did not really get the narrative that his original design was meant to have. I don't know if they double backed and were like, oh, we're going to give it to Law instead. Because I do think that there was something in like the editorial room where they were like, all right, we definitely want Luffy to work with one of these guys. Law seems to be more of a calculating guy and Kid seems to be a wild card.
Yeah.
What would be easier to write around? And I think they might have maybe made some loose decisions based off of that small metric alone, maybe. But Kid definitely got. I don't want to say the shit end of the stick at the end of the series, but he's not okay right now.
He's
maybe.
not as relevant as I think he was originally intended to be. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, totally agree. Well, that's a great answer. I think everyone's looking forward to Law. Actually, it's funny because I do think that both Devin and Christian, because Justin's a Law fanboy, he's been kind of like feeding him like, oh, you're going to love the fuck out of Law. And they're like, okay.
I prefer the term propagandist.
Yeah, he's a Law, not purist, propagandist for sure.
Yeah.
And now that we're in like Punk Hazard and stuff, they've been kind of like, putting the pieces together like, oh, okay, here we go. And we also asked him a question like, okay, so we just got to the part where they formed the alliance. What do you think Law's staying power is? And Christian immediately doubles down and goes, 500 episodes. Like,
and
you know what? Episodes? He's not wrong.
Not even a little bit.
It's pretty close to that so far.
It pretty much is, honestly. No, I just thought it was really funny because I was like, surely this guy isn't going to stick around long enough to last 500 plus episodes. Like, the Alliance can't last that long. And he's like, no, I don't believe it. I think he's going to be there for 500
to be fair,
episodes.
he has seen like images on the internet. Although he did state that, like, listen, just because I've seen like mild spoilers where like he's clearly present in the series would not have any influence on my decision to say he's definitely sticking around for the next 500 episodes.
Yeah. I mean, like, he has a cool hat. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, that goes a long way in anime. You don't understand.
The merge potential is astronomical. It becomes someone's entire personality.
I would also say, as a positive, something to look forward to at Dressrosa, if equally with Law, if you are at all interested in Doflamingo from him being around for like 10 years and not doing much of anything, but you've always been like, who's this flamingo boa wearing guy? It's like, well, get ready for that train ride. Here we go.
Amen.
Devin is he's kind of hard to please on average. He's definitely more of a I think a watcher where he's not usually here for the fun. He's more here to as like a not to criticize, just as like a bystander. He's watched anime for a long time. He likes to have his opinions. His favorite character was Crocodile, and it has stayed Crocodile for the vast majority of our time with the show so far. I'm thinking that there's a chance it might get dethroned by Doflamingo, but we'll have to wait and see.
Well, a lot of people have compared Dressrosa to Alabasta for reasons I'm sure most of you are already aware.
Yes.
And so we'll see where that goes. We'll see which one wins out, I suppose.
All right, what about you, Justin? What are you excited for those two to experience for the next arc?
Definitely Doflamingo. I like told him, I think, a couple weeks ago that like Doflamingo is my favorite One Piece villain because no one, in my opinion, has ever been so just downright evil, scummy, etc., but still like cool. He's a really interesting character in terms of his dynamics for me, where it's like, okay, I hate you because you were written for me to hate you. Good job, Oda. But also, you still have like a really cool power. You're still like a really imposing force. You have a really cool aesthetic. Like, we made a joke on our last episode or whatever about we want to see like a RuPaul drag race between Ivankov and Doflamingo.
Doflamingo.
And I think that's great. We definitely need that. Oda, get working on that.
I still want that in my life. Like, I need fan art of that. Like,
we could see like a wacky races kind of thing with a lot of One Piece characters, actually.
So there's that. I think there's a lot of good storytelling with Doflamingo as a character. No villain has surpassed him yet in my mind, and I don't think Oda could. I don't know how Oda could top that. Like, he just has all the check marks of like, human trafficking, check. Drug trafficking, check. Human experimentation, check. Severe mental and emotional abuse, check. Damn near genocide, check.
It's a high bar to surpass with Doflamingo.
Yeah. You know, can I tell you what I'm most excited for? Really quick. And I can tell you it's going to be a lot simpler. I'm just excited for God Usopp, baby.
All right.
I'm so fucking pumped. I've been saying it for years. So Usopp's my favorite character, by the way. I've been saying it for years on this cast. God Usopp, he's a god. He's a god among men. And when we finally get there, I'm going to have a great fucking time.
It's so much fun. Up until now, he was just like a demigod, sort of. But now he has reached ascension. And he properly becomes a deity in this one. Yep.
God bless. All hail God Usopp.
I can't wait.
Yep.
A solid recognition on the Frankie and Senior Pink fight. I actually do kind of like their.
That's a solid fight too. Yeah.
That's fun time. I actually do kind of like. I mean, Senior Pink is just a What a character.
Senor Pink is a perfect example of a character you look at and it's just like, all right, he's a middle-aged man wearing baby bibs and like a binky and stuff, and it's like a diaper, and it's like, what is this man? And then you find out his backstory, and it's like, that is the saddest shit I've ever heard in my life. Oh my God, it all ties back together now. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Everything relates to trauma. How silly of me.
That whole arc is just one giant pile of trauma dumping, honestly. And I'm here for it.
In some ways.
Yeah.
In many ways.
That's why we read One Piece, you know?
What else am I looking forward to? There was something else in my head. I'm actually really curious on what the reaction is going to be when Sabo makes his return.
Oh, yeah.
Because Christian already thinks that he's definitely not dead.
Yeah, I think they're both kind of on the same camp, that they sort of kind of refuse to believe. They at first they were like, absolutely no shot. When the bomb first went off and they were like sad about it in the backstory while we were like covering it, they were like, absolutely no shot, he's going to be fine. As the backstory arc ended, I think they got like that little shadow of doubt, because in Christian's argument, he's like, well, what was the point? Like, why did we even learn about Sabo if he's not going to be a main character? And I'm like, well, what if it was to demonstrate and showcase that Luffy as a primary protagonist has already been through this trauma once before, and this is like an opportunity for him to deal with it a second time, and maybe he won't come out of it, or at least not without help or whatever. Or the first time it happened, Ace was there, and now he doesn't have an Ace, so what happens next? And that kind of stun-locked him for a bit. So I think I might have
you overloaded him a bit.
I might have cast it just enough of a doubt to make him think that he's not alive.
I remember feeling extraordinarily confident that Sabo was dead. Like, I was like, there was no way he's coming back. And the reason for that was a couple chapters. I don't think it was shortly after the flashback with Gray Terminal. Oda did a cover page on the manga that had Luffy, Ace, and Sabo, if Sabo were still alive, like they were all adults, like if Sabo never, like that accident never happened to him. And so I'm thinking, because Oda drew this what if scenario of like, what if Sabo was still alive? That means he's confirmed to be dead, because he's drawing like a what if kind of thing. So I'm like, all right, I get it.
Yeah,
then it just all got flipped.
Remember what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was the thing. Many people might remember it because remember Ace had that tattoo that went AC and then an S crossed out in the cover page with Sabo not dying. It just says Ace, and it's just like, oh, okay, now you get why the S was crossed out, because that was Sabo. Yeah.
That was also another thing. They were outraged by that S. They would not stand until they finally got an answer for why Ace had an S crossed out on his arm.
For the longest time, it was just written that the tattoo guy messed up.
Yeah. I told him the same thing. Like, he misspelled his name.
Yeah.
God,
greatest typo in anime history.
Love it.
It is interesting that you would say that you're excited for Sabo. I would say he might actually be. So this is our next question: is what are we going to dislike about the next arc? I think I might have the most contentious opinion on Sabo as a One Piece enjoyer. Listen, I like Sabo. I understand his purpose. I respect like what Oda's doing with. I'm letting my man cook, because every time I doubt him, he does usually find a way to like pull me back into the mix. The only thing that I will always stand by is there just had to be a better way to write Sabo as a protagonist than to have the whole memory thing be his reason.
Amnesia is always a tricky thing to handle in fiction.
I think a part of me just wishes that in the back of my mind, if they would have if he would have wrote Sabo as a character that doubled down on his mission instead of his brothers at the time, and then by losing Ace, that maybe that was like the trigger that made him be like, well, I can't just ignore my brothers or I'm going to fucking lose them or whatever. I think if he would have doubled down on that angle, I would have been much more gravitated to Sabo as a character overall. The amnesia thing, I'm always just not on board with.
It especially feels like a harder thing to believe, given that Sabo works with the Revolutionary Army, and newspapers in that universe are so important, whether it's actually telling the truth or it's just become propaganda. But like, it's very pivotal to. I feel like we rarely see the army and not have them have a newspaper in hand reading.
They always do, yeah. Like, I was actually just thinking about this not too long ago. Maybe not so much from Sabo, because you could just argue, okay, he had amnesia. So even if he saw, like, Luffy's wanted poster, maybe he has, like, a touch of deja vu, but it doesn't really do anything. But imagine how different One Piece would be if Luffy read the damn newspapers.
Dude.
He would have seen Sabo. Sabo's the chief of staff of the revolution. He would be in the paper, like, all the time, and Luffy would have seen him and be like, holy crap, he's still alive. Huh.
No, the other side of that is what if fucking Ace read the paper?
Exactly.
He would have been like, holy shit, Sabo's alive.
Yeah, anybody. Like, no one reads the paper. Like, even Dadan doesn't read the paper, apparently, because Dadan found out, like, the same time Luffy found out that Sabo was still alive.
Yep.
And so nobody, like, from the time Sabo left the village and joined the revolutionaries, like, I guess no one reads the paper. Crap.
No, nobody be reading the paper.
Someone clearly didn't renew their subscription to the News Coos.
No, they did not. Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah, fucking Big News Morgan's, he clearly was not going to the right people or printing the right stories throughout the 8-10 years or whatever from his death day.
They were out of coverage area, you know?
Yeah, out of the coverage area. Yeah, it took a while.
Yeah. Well, not to bring the mood down too much, but what are either of you gentlemen what would you, for a new person, not look forward to for them to experience in the upcoming arc?
If you're watching
if you had to pick something.
If you're watching it, the normal way episodically, pacing's gonna be a real hampering for you, as it was for me when I was watching it during college. It was a real eye-opener. Like, I think when I started One Piece, it was probably like my senior year of high school going into freshman year of college. And I eventually started catching up. College, like the first 4 years was all Dressrosa. We finished Dressrosa, and I'm like, bro, people are graduating. We've been here a long time.
Dressrosa, I believe,
is a 24-hour period.
Took 4 actual years.
It was before. It was 100 episodes, 100 chapters exactly, I think. Yeah.
Okay, 100 chapters exactly. I believe that I was a sophomore in high school when it started. And I think I was in like my second year of college when it finally ended or something like that.
That tracks. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a good arc. I think it's great, but it definitely was... It was a lot. There's a lot of shit in there for sure.
And this is kind of my thing as well. Also, there's a lot of filler in the anime. Like, they drag out. This is when I remember a lot of people making videos on how bad it had really gotten, because you would have a 22-minute episode, because you got to take time out for commercials and stuff. Somebody actually recorded, okay, you have to do the opening titles, you have to do the recap of the last episode, you have to do all the stuff, like the ending preview and all that stuff. And then here is the canon stuff that furthers the story. And it's like less than 12 minutes of material per episode. And it's like 30-minute block, and you're only getting like 10 minutes of new material per episode, and the rest is filler. That was rough.
There's also a lot of new characters that get introduced in this arc, and they have to do all their individual fights and stuff. And it really just depends on if you like them or not. If you don't like them, that's going to drag like hell.
Yeah. I think that that like when they're in the Coliseum or whatever, right? You got all these weird motherfuckers getting pulled out of the mix, and you have no context for how much staying power any of these guys are going to have, right?
No.
So you're just like sitting here like, okay, I can't wait to just be complete. I can't wait to not talk about any of these guys ever again. Can we just move on with my life until you find out at the end of the arc that they're all going to be probably there at the final war of the series?
Yeah. And as even we told them all the time, no one's ever truly gone from the story. Freaking, we brought back Bellamy from the fucking ashes of Jaya and Skypiea, and he became super relevant.
I was okay with Bellamy coming back. I really was.
I was here for Bellamy. I liked Bellamy.
But I know these guys are going to be like, what the fuck is this guy doing here? And that's an appropriate reaction.
I didn't have a problem with it. Yep.
That's their current problem with Punk Hazard. So right before the time skip, I'm sure you're aware Hawkins and Brownbeard had like a skirmish or whatever and all that shit. Well, of course, when Brownbeard becomes a reoccurring character in Punk Hazard, and we have a quote from Christian, wow, yeah, I can't wait to hear more about Brownbeard. He's going to become a super important character. Not.
Got him.
His ass comes back in Punk Hazard.
You never know, because there are so many characters that have shown up, and it's like, they really just have one chapter and then that's it. And you just don't know. Are they going to pop up later? Like what? He's more relevant than Peachbeard, though.
Peachbeard. There's Peachbeard and Pinkbeard, the one that Bello Betty fought in the
that's Peachbeard. Yeah, that's Peachbeard.
Oh, is that Peachbeard? Oh,
yeah.
I'm so sorry. Excuse me.
Yeah. Well, his real name in Japanese was like Momo, which it means peach or pink in Japanese. Yeah.
Because that's hence why Momo has a fucking peach.
He has a peach head.
Shit all over his kimono or whatever, and a peach head.
Yep.
Today I learned. I didn't realize that.
I love those little puns. Like in Dressrosa, when they all get turned into art by Giola, I think Momonosuke's head turns into an actual peach. I think that's like the
That's actually super fun. Yeah, that's why I love the fucking God Usopp bit so much.
Yeah.
Like when you play out the scene, it's like every other syllable in his sentence from him trying to be like, put me down, you assholes, I'm fucking dying, turned into, I am your god now, worship me.
Yeah. Typical Usopp.
So fucking stupid.
It's so good.
I love those dumb play on words. They're my favorites. Sometimes I learn new ones from like SBSs or whatever, and I always get myself tickled a little bit more every time.
Oda's love of puns keeps me coming back to this series.
Dude, always. I'm always here for a good fucking gag, bro. That's all I want.
That's half the charm of One Piece. And unfortunately, Devin doesn't always appreciate it. Or I guess both of them. I feel like they're both... I feel like Devin tends to hate them more, but Christian also doesn't always have appreciation.
Both opening their heart to it a little bit more. I think when they realized that we were along for the ride with a bunch of stupid fucking charismatic characters, they were like, okay, you know, I'm here for memes. We'll be here for memes.
Yeah. Christian grew to understand that is what, you know, One Piece is. That's what you're going to get, and you just have to accept that. Devin's been fighting it a little bit longer than he has. But I think he's coming around. I'm genuinely convinced those two will actually be like at the end of One Piece or this podcast, whatever comes first. I think those two will go on the record and be like, I like One Piece. And I think that happens.
Well, we ask them that every single time we get to a big, like, you know, like when we got to the halfway point in the series right before the time skip, do you like it? And then they're both like, yes.
Yes. Oh,
No,
by the way,
fun.
halfway point.
Right. No, seriously, don't even get me started. I tell them the halfway point so that I don't scare them.
That's fair. It's the weirdest thing because if that was the halfway point, like One Piece is ending, it was a little bit. No, because that was near chapter 600. So it'd be 1200, actually. I was
600.
I was thinking it was 500 because 500 was when Rayleigh showed up. He showed up, and I was just, I misremembered something.
No worries. Yeah. Actually, you're reminding me. Yes,
yeah.
Technically, it would be somewhere in like the 1200ish range, which we're already at 1100.
The 2-year time skip began on chapter 598. I know One Piece, damn it. All right, there we go. I know my shit.
I believe it, man. We need you here. We need an expert in the room because none of us are experts.
Definitely not, man. Sure. I barely have memory. I need to upgrade my RAM.
I've seen the show like 3-ish, maybe 4 times all the way through at this point, and I still find things that I haven't seen before. Like
it's like with anything, like reading a book or anything, you're going to like, oh, I didn't notice that the first time.
Yeah, all the fucking time.
Quick question. What are our thoughts on Sugar and her absolutely terrifying power? I feel like that's going to throw those guys for a loop. The Hobby no Mi.
That thing's the most broken and devil fruit ability ever. Oda literally gave it like 6 powers. It was...
I think that the Hobby no Mi is probably the most terrifying and downright fucking broken ass thing that this series has ever produced. And I will stand by that till I die.
No, it is. If it was just being able to turn people into toys, it's like, okay, whatever. But it turns you into toys. You have to make a contract with the person that has the fruit, so you have to listen to whatever they say. And every person that you knew, you don't forget them, but they all forget you. And this affects, like, globally, like the entire world. Like, everybody that's ever met you just forgets you immediately.
It's like Thanos snapping, but a little less effort.
Yeah. Oh, and it gives you eternal youth, too, which is like, oh, yeah, just throw that on there, too. Why not?
Right, yeah, you get immortality, so you have to just live with the world around you as they forgot you.
Yeah.
My fucking God.
No, not even the toys, the user.
Oh, right. No, that's right. And the user gets immortality.
Yes. But yeah, that's a good point. The toys become immortal too. Yeah. They don't become immortal. It's just that you're stuck as a kid. So I guess you could still die, but like still, it's like you're not going to age. So
it's like a weird Brooke situation where like maybe it's not explicitly stated, but I'm pretty sure it brute forced immortality, if I'm going to be honest.
I think Brooke could die. I'm doing a series on my channel right now of all the Straw Hats died, and I have to cover Brooke at one point. But like, I think you could kill him if you drop like a nuke on him or something.
Right. I think that's possible. If you obliterate him, he can possibly die.
Yeah.
But I think if you only like shatter him, I mean, he'll just like come back.
I don't know. The way I always interpreted his fruit is you get a second life. So that's like, hey, 80, 90 years, and then you just die again. There you go.
I guess I didn't think of it that far. But I almost wonder, like, just because he's already been living for 40 years on that fucking boat or whatever.
50. Yeah.
50 years on the fucking boat or whatever. So in theory, he's already what? He was 40, 30 when he set sail?
He was 38 when he died the first time. And then he's 90 right now. So he's been dead for like 52 years.
Jesus
I don't
Christ.
know. I'm like, I question whether or not he is on the boundaries of his like previous life within his but I guess if you consider from the moment he entered his body is when his new life.
No, that's the way I interpret it. Like you get, and people live a little longer in the One Piece world than in our world.
Very true. Very true.
So if he started his second life at age 38, let's say, or 39 or whatever. So he's only like 52 right now. He's still good for like another maybe 50 years. But I feel like the fruit would eventually, like the powers, I don't think he's immortal is what I'm saying. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
But that's a whole discussion for another day. We can get into that for a while.
Its own discussion.
Yeah.
So what do we like about the arc, I guess, as we talked about dislikes? What do we love or like both?
We
Gear
talked
Fourth.
about what we like.
Gear Fourth?
We love Gear Fourth, by the way.
Yeah, Gear Fourth. That was
a lot of fun.
That was the big payoff to, as soon as we get back from the time skip around chapter 600, it's like, okay, we know Luffy has some crazy new ability. We know he has Gear Fourth. When's he going to show off? So it's like 150, 160 something chapters before we finally see it. And it's so cool.
This is actually a fun fact. This is the first foray into the manga that I had when I was still keeping up with One Piece currently. I was obviously watching the anime in Dressrosa on and off here and there because I wasn't as gravitated to the franchise as I was now. Mm-hmm. Now it's like probably my favorite fucking thing on the planet. But back in those days, I was like, yeah, I'll watch One Piece. And I remember I got to the episode where Luffy announces Gear Fourth. And he's like, I'm going fourth gear. And I'm like, I gotta know what this looks like. So I went straight into the manga and was like, all right, what does this shit look like? And I did not stop reading. They were in Zoe at the time. And I continued reading all the way through Zoe. And then I've been weekly reading ever since.
Yep.
That's how it gets you.
I feel like with most power-ups, people are very contentious at first. And they'll be like, this looks so stupid. But then just give it a little while to grow on you. And then everybody loves it, you know?
That's what I'm saying, man. Honestly,
I think that's how I felt when I first saw images of fourth gear, and I'm like, he looks funny.
Yeah, it doesn't look right.
I think fourth gear is a good balance of badass and funny, but nothing tickles me more than his most current upgrade.
Yes, that one is. I love that one. Yeah.
But perfect.
Yep. Yeah. You've encapsulated. I think people want Luffy to be too serious. People have pictured Gear Fifth. I saw fan art of he basically going Super Saiyan 3 or whatever, and it's like that's not Luffy. Though.
That's just not our boy, man.
That's not how Luffy fights.
Dragon Ball. I almost said Dragon Piece. Dragon Ball had its time.
Dragon Piece. Why?
In juxtaposition of that. Doflamingo introducing us to Awakenings. I thought that was really cool.
Oh, that's world building at its finest. I love that. Yeah.
Especially when you just think back to that one random fucking line from Crocodile at Impale Down where it's like, there are awakened Zoans, and then it's just so throwaway, and then years later you get this, and then you're like, oh.
No, even more than that, we have reason to believe that his whole bit where he turns everything around him into sand, that was his awakening. We have there's reason to believe that when Luffy and him were fighting in Alabasta, he's like, let me show you what my hand can really do, and he's just turning everything to fucking sand. Yep. He was the awakened guy long before any of these other fuckers.
You could have a conversation because he's a Logia, so it's different than a Parameci that Doflamingo had.
Very true.
The general idea, and we've still yet. That's the thing, though. Oda will reveal this stuff like hints, and it's like, I'm not going to reveal this for years, so you better take notes. But it's like, with Logias, the idea is that it affects the weather, but Crocodile kind of did that too. It was in a desert nation, to be fair, but he could still kind of do that. So, yeah.
Any other highlights?
Anything else anybody wants to put on the table for our upcoming arc? It is going to be a good arc. I'm most... Sugar is obnoxious. I can't... I actually do like Kiros and, oh goodness, I can't remember her name.
Rebecca?
Rebecca's little backstory and whatnot. Yeah. I find them very endearing. I know they get a little overused and oversaturated in the actual arc itself, but for the most part, I'm here for the trials and tribulations of their family.
I think a lot of people, during Dressrosa, when they started to notice what was happening, they're like, oh, okay, so this is just basically Alabasta all over again, So instead of Crocodile, we have Doflamingo. Instead of Vivi, we have Rebecca. And it's like their stories are similar, certainly, but they are very different. Oda, I think, was aware of the similarities and we'll address them later as a big point.
I like the way that he ended it, because I feel he made it very clear that they are basically mirrored copies of the same arc, but one version is it succeeded, whereas the other one was while it was trying to transpire.
Yes.
But the way that they both were villains in their own narratives, I just love when you realize one of the last things that Luffy did, taking the underworld broker and putting him into the sun is the final hit, versus when he finally beat Doffy and put his fucking heaven, ass, like I'm well above everybody else, right into the dirt.
Split the damn island in half.
Yeah. The counters of those like archetypes and villains and like narrative choices, I don't know, they really speak to me on a very personal level, I think. Oh, yeah. You can tell that Oda very much cares about the way that his story unfolds and the way that he like portrays his villains and whatnot.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also, I'm seeing in the chat, because there's outrage, I have to also recognize Bartolomeo. Apparently, he's a fan favorite. I didn't realize Bartolomeo was such a fan favorite.
So many of our listeners love Barto.
I didn't realize he was great. I mean, he's a cool guy. He's a great guy. Don't get me wrong. I didn't know he was like our man out here. That's fine.
he's the representation of like the fan base in the actual series.
What?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Bro, don't even get me started. I hate that. Like, I hope that I can be a Law, but I know in my heart I'm a Barto.
Hey man, if you're a Barto, there's worse characters to be.
Yeah. That's why I want to be an Usopp wherever I can. That's
Do you really want to be Usopp?
Yeah, that's the line I want to set for
cool,
myself.
But also, Usopp has a very clear understanding of his place in his world, and it's, I'm a human, and I'm surrounded by fucking monsters, and I don't know if I want that.
But he still sticks his out. He pushes it forward, because he's gotta be there.
Yeah, he's still a homie, man. Why are we hating on Usopp?
I'm not hating. I'm just saying.
You've been doing this cast with me for 3 years. Why are you hating on Usopp now, man?
I'm not hating on Usopp. I'm just saying that, like, if I were to be given a position of a character in this universe, I don't necessarily want it to be Usopp. That's all I'm saying, all right?
Wow, this fucking guy.
I'm trying to escape my current reality, not just be in a different universe with the same reality.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I would probably pick, like, I just want to be some dude like in the West Blue, away from everything, and I'm just like a humble farmer or something. I don't want to die.
Don't even get me started. Yes.
There's people out there that can literally alter the weather and like destroy islands. I just want to be over here doing my own thing.
I really just want to be a guy.
Yeah.
I want to be the schmuck opening up the newspaper being like, oh look, they disassembled the 7 warlords.
Yeah.
Thank fucking Christ.
Dude, remember, like not even that. Imagine like getting your paper in the morning with your morning coffee and be like, all right, so this insanely strong pirate obliterated 3 islands this morning, and they have magic powers. That's fantastic.
How far away are they? Oh, only 2 islands away, are they?
That's great.
We love to see it. God fucking damn it. But all right, I will say that's for the most part. I think those are most of our Dressrosa thoughts, unless anyone has any other minor things that
pretty much covers everything from me.
All right, thank you for partaking in our Dressrosa material. Now, moving on to more fun current stuff, and if you've gotten this far, we didn't do that.
Let's be very blatantly clear. For if you somehow listened this far and have not been scared away by spoilers, good job. But just for clarity, at the time of recording, the most recent episode is 1065, and most recent chapter is 1086. So if you're nowhere near there, get out of here. Sanji's last name has been Smoke. Bam, you've been spoiled.
You've been spoiled. Eat shit.
Yeah, that's our new. Yeah, sure. That's in chapter 1086. Yeah, there you go.
Well, okay. So at one point, before we got to the war, our ongoing bit was saying Ace dies, but since we got past it, we had to come up with something else. My other counter was saying Sabo lived as our spoiler.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, we're getting really close to having that be not a spoiler too.
Yeah.
So
I wonder what the magic number is. Is it 5 years? Is it 10 years? I don't know. Yeah.
These are great questions. These are the questions that keep me up at night, if I'm going to be honest. But moving on to current thoughts, we'll start with Wano, because Wano is we relatively recently ended it. I want to say, shit, are we already like going on a year since Wano? No shot.
Oh, it's been over a year. Well,
Holy
no. Luffy went into his transformation. It was like April of 2022. So
April of 22.
We're getting pretty close, because Oda did that break last year in August and July and August, and we still in Wano after that. So it was like September we ended it. Yeah.
Gotcha. So we're if we're not a year, we're
definitely
closely we're
getting
close to a year since done with Wano. And do you have any? I'm sure. I mean, I would say, do you have any quick thoughts on Wano? I'm sure you only have like an entire fucking YouTube channel devoted to your thoughts.
Yeah,
on
I mean, like, samurais. There's a dragon. It's all right.
It's all right.
How about I ask you a very bold question?
Go for it.
You can feel free not to answer.
Yeah.
would you say that Wano is the best of the post-time skip arcs? And if not, what do you think is so far?
I would think it would. Yeah, I think it is.
Okay.
I can't really put anything else. I mean, the only contender, I think Punk Hazard, honestly, is a contention. Is something that maybe. Well,
that's an interesting one. I like that. No, I'm here for it.
It's Wano. Yeah, that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. It's a long arc. With any kind of long story arc in a manga, people are gonna like, okay, this is dragging. We need to hurry up and get this over with. People just want a scene change. But I think it is the best one. Yeah,
I had a great time. I thought honestly, Wano was extremely fun. I would still probably put Whole Cake slightly elevated above Wano, but that's just because I gravitate towards troubled character narratives in general. Like Water 7 arc, fucking Eat My Heart Out, the Whole Cake Island arc. It's just something about it just tickles my fancy. But Wano was a blast. I would say
it was so much fun. Yeah,
it's great. For me, I've thought about this a lot, whether or not Wano is my current favorite arc. Because for me, like my best and favorite stretch of One Piece was basically first introduction to like Sabaody all the way to the end of the war. Like that whole stretch of One Piece is just like peak. Like it's just peak after peak after peak, and it's just a really fun ride. So much cool stuff happening. And I kind of get a similar reception with Wano. I just don't know if I can call it my favorite yet until it's like over in the anime at least. Because for the anime, I love the animations or art style change. I just really like the cell shading and just certain, I guess, traditional techniques used. I really appreciate that. Zoro coming back after years of not having him in the story. Zoro's my favorite character, so I was in tears when he returned to my screen. That was a beautiful day. The Roger flashback is probably one of my favorite things in the entire series. Like beautifully animated and just watching all of that unfold. It was so. I think that's the most fun I've had with One Piece. Both reading it and watching it. Like every week I was like, I love this.
I think the specifically when they were in the Roger flashback, the bit where Roger essentially does the exact same gag that Luffy did when they were like, yo, where are you going, man? And he's like, fucking the sky, bro. That shit tickles me in a way that I can't really describe. I would 100% agree.
It's the
that was
first time I think in the entire story we really get to see Roger as a character, because up until now he was just like mythical figure that was like, you know, started the Great Pirate Era. Now we actually, through Odin's perspective, we get to see how he really was, and it's great.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I think I think that without spending too much time going over every nook and cranny of Wano, because it's an action-packed arc to say the least. Also the longest. It did beat Dressrosa, I believe, by like 20 chapters or something like that.
Yeah, I think Wano might be close to 150. I'd have to look in. Yeah, it's over that because it started around 908. So. Yeah.
Gotcha. So why don't we'll narrow it down a little bit to the end of Wano. We'll cover King and Zoro, Sanji Queen, and then of course Luffy Kaido. Now, are you I'm sure you watched the anime as of late, at least like those like really fun
I
like
saw
flashy
the last,
episodes, right?
Yeah, I saw the episodes with Queen and Sanji, and then I did a video about the King and Zoro one because that fight was phenomenal. And I'll be obviously talking about it once we get into the big meat and potatoes of Luffy versus Kaido here.
Oh yeah, dude, the meat and potatoes of Luffy versus Kaido, let me tell you.
Yep.
I actually as well. So I'm sort of a weird one on the cast. I tend to watch the dub actually, so I don't usually keep up with the. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Finally,
the dub is not bad. I don't like,
dude. They, I don't know how current you are, but they're actually currently on the Roger backstory.
I saw that. I saw it. Yep.
They'll be debuting episode 1000 this July at some anime convention.
I gotta catch up on the dub bandwagon. I'm here for it.
It's Anime Expo, which is I went there last year. I can't this year though. But yeah, that I saw that, and I'm just like, because they were behind for the longest time with the English dub.
Don't even get me started.
They got to the end of Fishman Island and then they stopped for like 3 or 4 years, and then they finally just did, okay, we're just gonna power through this. Let's go. Yeah.
One after the okay, so they did a little bit of a break after they got done with Punk Hazard, but when they picked up Dressrosa, that shit was done in like a year. And then they picked up Whole Cake Island, and that shit was done in a year. Like, fucking Christ,
I think they
dude.
were just basically for like those 3-4 years they were out of Fishman Island. They're like, okay, we just need to do all of them, and then we're just going to release them in one straight go because we need to get caught up with the Japanese.
I could not imagine being a dub fan during that time of just like 4-year drought. Like, what do you do with yourself?
I don't know if it was 4 years, but it was a long time.
It was a long time. I definitely, it was, if it wasn't 4 years, it was definitely like 3 years between Fishman Island and the eventual Punk Hazard that they got. But, we're eating good these days, let me tell you.
Oh, it's great,
I have reason to believe, because I think that the VA for Momo sent out a tweet suggesting that she is no longer voicing Momo. And as I'm sure you're aware, for a lot of those young kid characters, they tend to have girl VAs, and if she's no longer the young Momo, that means that there's probably an adult Momo cast, and if adult Momo's cast, that means that they're already dubbing the shit where he gets turned into an adult, dude. It's like 10:30. What the hell?
It's fun because, like, remember growing up with anime, and it was like, dude, from watching a Japanese, like, the sub online to, like, seeing it. Like, I remember Bleach was like this. Like, it would take years. Like, oh, okay, I can't wait to hear the English voice of this character in 3 years. And then here we are. It's like pretty much side by side.
Don't even give me. I have the exact same thought process. My God, I've been eating really good these last few months.
It's nice.
Let me tell you,
it's nice.
It's been a lot of fun. So I've been keeping up with the dub for the most part. So I usually don't watch the normal Japanese release unless like a crazy fucking episode comes out. And the Sanji versus Queen and the King versus Zoro. I mean, obviously I had to watch. So I partook in both of those, and man, I had a great time with both. There was a lot of criticism with the Sanji versus Queen. I don't know if you
I liked it.
I thought it was really fun. I think the biggest criticism was like people read the manga and were like, when he got Blue Flame, that was because of his like speed that he picked up. And I think when he used Ifrit Jambe against Queen the first time, they made Queen like tank it a little too well. Yeah, everyone's getting really butthurt over that. And I'm just like, dude,
the way that fight ended, I just feel like the backdrop to that fight is not that interesting. They were basically just like fighting in a hallway, and then Sanji goes Ifrit Jambe, kicks him, and then it beats him, like kicks the crap out of him, and he gets sent flying. Zoro's fight, he's outside, King can fly, and then you got all the aura of Enma firing off of him and everything like that. I'm like, I think this looks like more pleasing to the eye to see that fight.
So I would say, yes, on paper, there was a lot more particle effects, a lot more when King did whatever the fuck that last attack was.
I loved it.
I summoned Kaido in attack mode.
Yeah, let me make a mini Kaido in flame, and then also all these like fire rings are just like floating around. I don't know what the hell. I'm pretty sure he pulled that move out of like a Sonic video game or something. I don't know what the fuck I was looking at.
It was a giant magma dragon, and I loved it.
It was so fucking good. I do think that I would agree. There was definitely a lot more to digest from an animation perspective with King versus Zoro. I might even argue, if I could be so blunt, to say that Zoro needs that because his fights don't really have a whole lot of meat to the choreography like Sanji's does. But yeah, I'm just saying, these are just my
this is fair.
Thoughts.
Zoro is known for Zoroing people. Like,
I'll say that because especially after the time skip, it was almost like Zoro trained for 2 years. He's so badass. There's so many fights that Zoro's in where he's just like he pushes the win button and that's it.
Yeah. Which to be fair, like I'm fine with that because that's just kind of like his thing. I understand where Oda's at. He can't let him struggle too much because if he does, then he can't really have a compelling enough character that actually has like a realistic sense of growth or whatever.
Yeah, I
like
mean,
if he's
look what happened in Fishman Island, where he just like almost takes out the main villain of the entire arc, and it's just like, oh, that's where we're at right now. Okay,
I was thriving as a Zoro fanboy in that scene. I'm like, if that motherfucker just didn't have to breathe, Cody Jones is dead. All right.
If my boy had gills, this would be done. This would be over. This game's fucking done
as someone who I'm definitely not as critical as many of the Twitter space when it comes to the Sanji versus Queen fight. But for me, whatever that art style that was used for majority of that fight, I'm just personally not a fan of it. It's been used a lot recently with Wano. Like I know
that breaks my heart. I love that. I love whoever keeps doing those. I love them so much.
Are you talking about the aura stuff? Because I actually really like the auras.
I like the aura stuff, but it's like I don't have the right language for it, but like just the way it's drawn, where
this is where we need our resident editor and fellow cast member Jordy, because he probably knows the animator by name. Do you know the scene when Luffy and Momo first come back from getting yeeted off the island, and he goes Snake Man for the first time and punches
that
Kaido
kind of animation. Yeah, I get what you mean by that.
That art style I don't love.
I'm okay with it. I because if you watch One Piece all the way through, I mean, there's so many different kinds of animation styles through the whole damn thing. And it's like, okay, that's a different style. I'm not like, it's not my favorite, but I don't really hate it.
I'm not pitchforking for it, but I'm just like, on the record, I'm like, I don't love this. And I think that, affects my opinion of the scene. It's still good. Shout out to Sanji again, the dub. Woo. But Zoro fanboys all day. We're winning.
Zoro fanboys all day, whatever, dude. I think the only reason I would stand by that art style, I don't know, something about it like almost reminds me of God, what's that animated Akira? Honestly, it makes me think of like, clearly there was a lot of like keyframes in very quick succession, and they went through all of this effort to like put a lot of, like lines and grains, and I don't know, it just looks so fluid to me. I will say sometimes like the muscle animation looks a little like veiny, and
it looks like I don't really know how to describe. It looks like a gnarled tree in some ways. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But I don't know, something about it like speaks to my fucking caveman brain. I can't get enough of it. That's probably one of the reasons I really liked the Sanji versus Queen fight. Was I love those. Yeah. I love those frames. They were so fucking good. But yeah, no, the unfortunately, as of the making of the Spoilercast, they still have not gotten to the animation of our young rubber boy, Luffy, our savior,
our Lord and Savior, Joy Boy,
turning into his awakened version. I still can't wait for it though. I'm looking.
There was that one brief scene in Film Red. If you wanted to see it animated, there you go.
Right? Yeah, there was that like very niche thing where he sort of does it, but I'm like, come on, that shit don't count.
Nah, it doesn't.
I need to see full blown Cuphead energy. I gotta know if they're gonna like go all in on doing Looney Tunes style.
Did you hear about this? I keep forgetting to bring this up in a video. But apparently they are bringing on somebody from like Warner Brothers, like Hanna-Barbera, kind of somebody that's used to that kind of style of animation. I don't know. That's all it is. It's just a rumor. I don't know, but it would make sense.
I have some knowledge of that, but to be fair, all of my knowledge is only current based off of whatever I fucking peer through on the subreddit.
Yeah, it's whatever I see on Facebook or the subreddit or whatever. That's basically me too.
The last I heard of the most recent rumor that I was aware of, there was a guy who submitted a few seconds of animation to Toei as like a contractor, but he like went out and said after like there was like a bunch of outrage where it was like, oh, are you doing like the Gear 5 Luffy? And he was like, no, I'm not like formally being brought on to Toei to do like any cool things like Gear 5 Luffy. I'm just like a guy.
Yeah, just a dude that like helps with animation sometimes.
Yeah, they had like, they had a whiteboard that, said, hey, we need 10 seconds of a guy, giving reaction shots. And I picked that piece of paper up and got paid.
Yep, there he goes. Yep.
That was sort of his answer. So I don't know if it's one and the same, but I do think that if it is the one I'm thinking of, I think that's a little bit debunked, but that's okay.
I'm hoping this rumor is true, because that would be the best timeline of just
God, that'd be
whole
so
hogging going
great.
On board with Looney Tooney animation. Like I would give me a Bugs Bunny cameo somewhere in there.
They resurrect the animator from the 1920s, and they're like, all right, here you go, buddy. The rubber hose animator at his finest.
Dude. Okay, so please, by all means, tell us your thoughts, your deep love or hatred of the direction that Oda went with Gear 5.
Oh,
I'm so
love
glad you mentioned rubber hose, because
I love
that is a bit we talked about on our last Spoilercast. I was telling Justin, I feel like as a watcher and as a reader. So and maybe I'm biased because I might not be in the right circles. I don't feel like anyone called at any point that Luffy's final power was just essentially going to be the power of Looney Tunes.
No, I don't. I mean, I'm in that circle. I'm sure somebody on the internet suggested it, but like not anybody that I was talking to at the time.
The sudden realization after it was revealed that that's like what his final like end form power set was going to be, I felt like I got punked. In the best way possible. The bit is literally in his fucking name. Rubber hose animation. The rubber man. Son of a fucking bitch. It was a 25, 30 year long fucking joke. And I fell for it.
That's what I'm telling you, man. Oda will kick you with those jokes and those puns every single time.
This motherfucker. I love it so much.
Rubber Man, Digivolve 2, Rubber Hose Animation Man.
I saw a concept art of, I think it was when he went on break last year, of like all the different kind of things that, it was like sketch art for Gear 5th that was not used. And there was one, I think it might just not be used yet, because there was one of like literally like a cuckoo clock coming out of Luffy's mind and just like, cuckoo. I'm like, I hope he uses that later. Please, that's going to be awesome.
That would be so good.
Yeah, because he can literally just do anything, and it fits with his ability of Joy Boy freedom. And I'm just like, yeah, let's go with this. If we're going with this, let's go full throttle. You know what I mean?
It is so interesting, like, now having that context when he would always like, because Oda is also a hype man, and I actually kind of, I'm also kind of annoyed sometimes when he's this hype man, but I give him a pass because I like his writing. When he would like say constantly back in, yesteryear, like, oh, I'm getting really close to like that point in the story. I really hope I draw it right. I'm like, okay, I see what you're getting at. You're having to draw like straight up Looney Tunes style animation in the middle of a very successful Japanese manga and make it be believable.
Yep. Although I don't know, a lot of that might just be like, because being a mangaka, you have to go advertising, marketing too. So that might be like his editors being like, hey, at this year's Jump Fest, you gotta write something to get people hyped for next year. Like you have to think of something. The lurking legend will finally appear. Like, there you go. That's fine. That works. Yeah.
I still don't even know. I think that shit's nonsense. Unless maybe he's talking about whoever this guy marked by flame is. I don't know.
Yeah, or he'll be like, this year Shanks will ... do something ... like
what was his most recent one where he's like, that person and that person are gonna fight?
Yeah.
Whoa!
I think it was the last one in the December of this year of 2022. Yeah, that was that one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which at that point, I feel like you are just messing with us, but it's fine. I get it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm here for it at some capacity because I know he's got to sell his shit, which to that avail, I can understand. I can agree with.
Yeah.
But do you, what about you, Justin? You have any big Wano things you want to unpack?
Love the Zoro versus
Other than
King
being
fight.
a Zoro fanboy?
Obviously. King is the most beautiful character I've seen in this goddamn series. I love him. Man,
why is he so hot?
Actually, it's like he's tall, dark, and handsome, and he has white hair, which is just like, I just have a thing for colored hair. And also, white hair is like underappreciated. Like grown men are like, man, my grays are coming, and I'm like, I look forward to like just full hair.
Well, gray hair or white hair? Because there's a difference.
White.
Yeah,
there is a difference. But like, a little silver fox age. That sounds good.
Dude,
sounds
if
fun.
if I lived to be like 80 and I have like Rayleigh's hair, I would love that.
Dude, yeah, actually though, like maybe he's born with it, or maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know, dude. I know it's a makeup joke, but bear with me, please. My stupid pea brain can only make so many beauty jokes, I promise. But all right. Well, yeah, I think for the most part, I feel comfortable saying we've covered the vast majority of things for Wano, unless anyone else has any other like.
If anyone wants to hear our thoughts, go listen to our last Spoilercast. We went whole hog on it. All right, we went deep.
Yeah, we gave a lot of thoughts on Wano as a whole on our last Spoilercast.
And Tekking has a whole channel for it, so
And Tekking has an entire YouTube channel for it. Go watch his YouTube stuff.
It's what I do.
Mm-hmm. So moving on from Wano, though, yeah. So the next arc after we got done, finishing Wano, Yamato stayed behind. She did not become a member. Were you pro or not pro Yamato joining the crew? Out of curiosity.
Okay. So this is a thing that happens every single story arc where Oda introduces somebody, and it's like, are they gonna join?
Absolutely.
And I get fooled for it every single time because he makes me care about these characters. And I'm like, I want Carrot to join. And it's like, all right, well, okay, the Carrot thing was like, all right, if she does a lot of stuff in Wano, maybe. If not, then she probably won't. And she didn't really do anything in Wano at all. So I was like, okay, she's not going to join. Yamato was an interesting one because she literally went up to Luffy and said, I want to join your crew. And
that is
like,
right.
Yeah. That's what Robin did, remember? And I'm like, Robin just showed up on the Going Merry and just like, I'm joining your crew now. And Luffy's like, yeah, okay. And so I'm like, huh.
I would say I also feel I got ho-dunked in this bit because I genuinely thought that because she or he, did that, that he must obviously want to be a member of the crew and will obviously become a member of the crew. I was very pro Yamato joining back in the way day.
I mean, Yamato could still join. I mean, basically the way the arc ended was like, hey, Momo, Yamato, if you want to join, show up and you'll join. And they'll probably show up during like the final war or something. And it's like, okay, yeah, here you go.
I was definitely pro Yamato joining the crew. One, because I totally took the bait by Oda. I just saw the clear parallels between Roger Odin and Yamato Luffy. And I was like, there's no way this guy's going to dangle his carrot in front of my face and then take it away from me, right? Like, there's no way he would do that. We're clearly going to get a new straw hat.
It's just the fact that Oda made this character. He made them come off with so much heart out of fucking nowhere. And I'm just like, okay, fine. Rip my heart out again, why don't you? You know, it's Vivi all over again. Although, honestly, I bet Vivi may or may not be
Vivi's going to be popping up, and she's going to be probably... Because Vivi was an official member. She just left. Mm-hmm. So it's like, yeah.
I actually think, if anything, the only like saving grace of losing Yamato out of the crew on this is that I think this might open the door to put Vivi back on the boat.
Honestly, if we're gonna pick anybody to join the crew again, I would just have it be Vivi. It's already been established. It's already ready to go. You don't have to like introduce a brand new character and like set everything up. It's just Vivi's back. She's the 11th member. Okay, do it.
Damn, I'm about to become a Vivi hater because I'm jealous that Yamato's not on the crew.
I don't know. The only thing is Vivi's power level there, but yeah, just give her it. Monet's fruit is probably still on the Sunny and the orange trees, that old theory. So just give her a Logia, she'll be fine.
Oh my god, dude! Imagine that secretly Monet's fruit's been on the Sunny.
I love that theory. I love it.
Fucking Vivi comes out of nowhere and goes, "Hey, Nami, did you notice that you've got one orange in here? Tangerine in here that's just really fucking weird looking."
Yeah. And then you have like, okay, the only Logia on the Straw Hats, and it's Vivi. I'm like, okay, all right. I'm all right with that.
What the hell, dude?
I might make a video about that now, actually.
He's cooking real hard right now.
Shit. A good solid Vivi video. Yep.
I would be on board for the Vivi return, because as of the current manga, I believe the last thing we saw with Vivi was she, Wapple, and Big News Morgans were big chillin'. And okay, now this is so I do feel like that sometimes I get distracted with some of the set pieces when I'm reading manga panel to panel. Were they just like big chillin' in like a random island, or were they like literally flying into Egghead?
Oh, they were no, they were just on the air balloon of the World Economic Journal heading toward unidentified location. That's where they were at. Yeah,
unidentified location. Because I actually like vaguely remember it like reading on the weekly basis. Like I thought they might have been like flying over Egghead, and I'm like, wait, are they like there right now? What the fuck? But then it didn't like really expand on it, so I was a little confused.
Yeah, I get you.
But yeah, so they're all big chillin' or whatever. How have you been enjoying? Well, we'll talk about Egghead first, I suppose. Did you enjoy the Egghead that we've gotten so far?
Yes.
We still haven't really gotten to the end of Egghead.
Egghead is still the best is yet to come, according to Oda. But like, yeah, I mean, especially if you're including all the crazy stuff that's just happened in the manga that's not on Egghead, but still technically part of the arc, then yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And we've got plenty of time to talk about it. I'm just like, like how we feel about Egghead, though, because I actually found when Vegapunk was finally like revealed to the team, I was infatuated with the design of Vegapunk, and I love how his main body is just a joke on every smart scientist like in history. We got a little bit of Albert Einstein in there, we got a little bit of Isaac Newton, we got a little bit of Galileo, and he's just like this amalgamation of all of these different pieces. I loved it. I loved every bit of it.
It's very predictable. It's very predictable because it's like, oh, he's going to be like Albert Einstein, and it's like, okay, that's the obvious answer, so a lot of people were thinking of something else, but at the end of the day, like that's Oda's style, so it's like just go with that. Yeah,
he definitely caught me off guard at first when I think in his like debut chapter, and he had like his tongue doing the weird licky thing that whatever Big Mom's kid does. I forget what his fucking name is.
Parasparrow,
Parasparrow, thank you. Doing the weird fucking Parasparrow tongue, and then I'm like, somebody in the subreddit was like, guys, it's literally just Albert Einstein in the fucking photo.
yeah, that's literally that's the reference. Yep.
Oh my god!
Someone was cooking. It was like, I think we know who Parasparrow's father is.
Dun dun dun.
Stop, please! Don't do this to me. You can't do this to me. If that's Parasparrow's dad, I don't know if I'll ever recover.
For me with Egghead, when we first entered the arc, and it's been some time. I don't know how long it's been. Maybe like 6 months or maybe longer. God, because we touched it a little bit on our last Spoilercast or whatever. A lot has happened since then, but I think I mentioned it then that for me, Egghead was just like every week something exciting was just happening with every chapter. It was, we're diving more into Vegapunk. We're diving more into lore about Devil Fruit. You get Law versus Blackbeard on the open seas. What happened there? Things at the Reverie. Like, there's just so many exciting things. I just felt like week after week after week, it was like, Oda, like, when's the plateau? We just keep peaking. When do we get off the ride? Like,
man, you gotta have that for the whole sake of. Oh, I'm sorry, I might be cutting out a little bit.
Oh no, you're fine. We're mostly still picking up what you got.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like you have to keep that up with the end of the series. It's the final saga, so there's a whole different pacing now.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually will say, in the most recent chapter, we're sort of jumping ahead, but that's okay. We do what we want around here. In the most recent chapter, I was actually very happy with the amount of actual progression and exposition with no additional mysteries, because I feel like Oda does this a lot, where he'll give you breadcrumbs of like answers to things, but then by answering like one small question, he'll throw 3 new ones into the mix. And with our most recent chapter, I feel very happy knowing that we got all of the main Elder Stars, or they were named. We got all their ranks, their positions. We didn't get Devil Fruits, obviously, or whatever.
We don't know if they even have Devil Fruits. There you go. There's your mystery.
Well, yeah, we don't know if they have Devil Fruits or like what. Like,
could be out God powers. Who knows?
I'm pretty sure that the one named after Venus clearly has to have a Zoan, though, because his silhouette was very
That's what
prominent.
Oda wants you to think. That's
no
him.
Shot.
Yeah, there you go.
Listen, we thought Luffy was a Paramecia for 20 plus years. Like, what do you know?
Well, there is that. But but now that he's set this precedent that all of these Zoan awakened forms have that, like, the smoke scarf thing or whatever.
Yeah.
If I ever see a smoke scarf and they're not a Zoan, I'm just gonna be really fucking mad.
That's what Oda's gonna do, man. That's his game plan.
That is his fucking game, though. Honestly, he's a fucking memer and a half. Now that I think about it, Caesar has one of those. Maybe he's a Zoan.
Yep. Yeah, there you go. Perfect example. Yeah.
Fuck.
Maybe he's the exception that proves the rule. All right. That's all I'm saying. There always has to be one. I don't want it to be this Venus guy. He has to be a Zoan. I refuse to believe anything else. But we also got exposition on the leader of the Knights that were name dropped once upon a time and only recently expanded. What a sick fucking design too, by the way.
Oh yeah,
he's just
love
got
that
like
dude.
A crescent moon for a head.
It's distinctive, if nothing else. Yeah.
So, and I'm sure you would know this because you've probably even delved into it on a video or such. So he's the member. Or I'm sorry, he is the former king of what we know as God Valley.
All right. So funny thing about that, there has been a correction for that official, like what exactly that, it could be read as king, but the idea is he distinguished himself at God Valley, not necessarily he is the king of God Valley.
Oh, so maybe he was just like a noble from God Valley.
He could have been someone that fought very bravely at God Valley, for all we know. We don't. It's not very clear.
Okay, interesting. Well, but in addition to that, he's from what we know as the Fagarland family.
Yeah.
Which the only other time that family has been name dropped, if I'm not mistaken, was in Film Red.
Yes.
As they were describing Uta when referring to Uta as Shanks' daughter, then
because
she must be in the Fagarland family.
They did not know Uta was. They assumed Uta was Shanks' biological daughter, so they said, "Oh, the Fagarland family continues like that." Yeah,
yeah. So that's essentially confirmation that Shanks is of the same family as this guy, right?
Yeah, he is, and we even see it in the silhouette of the God's Knights. There's a dude that looks very similar to Shanks, who I'm thinking is his brother or maybe his sister. Who knows?
Clones. Everything is clones. We have technology. Everyone's a clone.
Yep.
Do you have a stance on pro or not pro clone, my friend?
Like in real life, like should we clone human beings? Or... Okay. No, I mean at this point, no, it's fine. And like Oda, this is what he does. He'll take every aspect of fiction and then just incorporate it into One Piece. Like somehow it works. Like we'll have a prison break story. We'll have time travel. It's like, yeah, that all fits. Now we have clones and sci-fi, all these tropes. And I'm like, all right, everybody's a clone now. Why not? Right? Like.
Like, I'm here for it. I just really hope he doesn't oversaturate the list of characters with a bunch of clones.
No, I hope
sad.
everybody is a clone. We've already been there. Weevil is most likely a clone. No, Weevil's almost likely a clone. Stussy is confirmed to be a clone. All the Seraphims have clones now. Kuma has clones now. And everybody's a clone. There you go.
Yeah, but that's just it. Like, I want a line, man. Give me a line.
Dude, Kuma literally has 3 different types of clones.
He do have a lot of clones, though.
He has the original Pacifista, the Seraphim, and he has Mark III, which although there has to be maybe a Mark II or Mark I. So, like, I don't know if you want to consider the first Pacifistas like Mark I. Yeah.
Does the weird policeman Kuma count as its own clone?
Absolutely.
Okay, so 4 kinds of...
There's the police Kuma.
They're just going to clone Kumas. There you go.
But that's fine. Like, I think maybe I just get a little bit taken aback by just the sheer volume of opportunity of clones in this franchise as Oda has gotten more and more creative with his liberties as of late of what is on the table in terms of clone. Like, I do genuinely hope that the Seraphim are done with just like the OG 7 warlords. I don't really know if I want to see a mini Law. I don't know if I want to see a mini Buggy. Because there can only be one king of future king of pirates, by the way.
I think we talked about this in a stream. Like, what if they tried to clone Weevil, who's most likely a clone? It's like, oh, you don't want to start cloning clones. Then you get some weird, like, goo creature or something like that, you know?
You get Smiley 2.0, yeah.
Kinda, yeah. You got like an episode of Rick and Morty if you start going down that line, you know?
But in addition to all of that fucking nonsense that's going on, well, not nonsense, but exposition, so
there's
to
just
speak.
so much lore and world building happening in this arc alone. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I really like the part where, so we got confirmation that, or well, rather we got what happened to Cobra when he met with the Celestial Dragons.
Yes.
I'm not entirely convinced he actually died in that chapter, by the way.
Oh, he's dead. I'm thinking he's dead.
I don't know. It just didn't seem like they gave him that, like, big moment. You know what I mean? Although, to be fair, they didn't give a super big moment to Ashura and Wano, and his ass is
Ashura's
dead,
death was so, like... And you know what the biggest, like, kick in the teeth with that was? Like, the chapter where he died was named, like, you know, Ashura Doji, or, you know, the commander of the mountain bandits, like Oda usually does, like Commander Fire Fist Ace when Ace died. Like, this is his chapter. He was, like, barely in it. Like,
yeah.
This is the chapter where he dies and he, like, jumps out, blows up, and then the rest of the chapter's about something else.
I thought for certain that dude was going to be fine. And when he wasn't, I was like, you're serious?
No,
I'm still
we're
mad
actually going
Izo died. And I'm still
I'm way more upset Izo died, yeah.
Izo was like,
I am also...
maybe I missed it, but like, it felt like Izo had his scene. He disappears from the story because we're focusing on other things. And then the war ends, and they just kind of list off a bunch of people who were casualties. And just Izo is just a name on the list. I'm like, what the fuck?
Dude, at least with Ashura, it's like, okay, we see the event. He grabs the fake Ode and it blows up. And it's like, all right. With Izo, it was just like, okay, he fights Cypher Pole Zero. He fights Maha, the dude with the tribal mask. And it's like, you were really strong. You were too. And they collapse. And it's like, all right, they're, you know, and then, oh no, he's dead. I'm like, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
You know, this is that classic anime moment where they're both like passing on the ground. Only one actually died.
Yeah, no, they're both dead apparently. But like, yeah, that was something.
That was something indeed. See, I will say he's definitely got a little loosey goosey with my expectations of what constitutes a death moment. I will say.
He was already pushing like his 60s. He was pretty sick already. He couldn't really walk on his own. So like the fact he got stabbed like 4 times, I'd be like, all right, he's probably dead.
We will wait and see. And you know, the chapter at first I didn't think it was named after him, but I went back and was like, oh wait, no, it actually was. It was very much named after him.
Yep.
So if it's named after him, that is usually a death flag. If I'm But in addition to getting context with his death, we now know, or rather, what happened to Sabo. And Sabo gave the all the intel to the rest of the Revolutionary Army. And then we got fucking Ivankov, one of my favorite characters in this whole fucking series. He is fucking great. They are an experience, and I love them for it. Ivankov's just like constantly listing like, okay, well, we know that all of the fucking the weapons, the ancient weapons exist. What if they have one?
I love that Ivankov basically starts their own like One Piece YouTube theory channel, and it's just like I'm gonna go, okay, we need to get all right. there was a ruler of the entire world that sat on the empty throne. All right. We know that devil fruits op fruit can cause immortality. So there you go. How about that? You know, it's like, yeah.
My God, dude. This is the part where he takes the leap to the immortality bit, I think is the part where I was like, my God, what are you cooking, Eva?
Mm-hmm.
What is going on? Where did you come up with these ideas?
I love Ivankov, man. Yeah,
I love them so much. They're
my
one of my
favorite episode
characters.
has Ivankov in it, and I love it. Yeah.
Is it the episode where they are introduced? Because I also love that episode.
Episode 439. I think it's the one where it's the one where Luffy is healed, and we see like he does that dance number at the beginning. I love that one.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Now, Eva's a fucking experience and a half, and I'm here for them all the fucking time.
Yeah, I love Eva.
All right, well, shit. Did we dare say we covered the vast majority of the current topics of the manga? Dare I say?
I mean, is there something you want to bring up to us, Tekking?
Yeah,
you want our thoughts on
don't
things?
Don't let us like railroad this conversation, please.
Garp is amazing, and okay, do you think Garp's gonna die? How about that? That's a thing that everybody's say. No, Garp's gonna die because he's the old man in a manga, and you know what happens with old men in manga, you know?
I think a couple months ago when that whole Galaxy Impact thing happened, I probably had an opinion on this, but I've forgotten about it since right now.
There you go.
Do I think Garp's gonna die? I think yes. But I don't think it's gonna happen. It's not now when he's infiltrating Blackbeard's turf. I think it's gonna happen a little bit later. I think there will be an event or a situation that will put Garp in a position where he will meet his demise, but I don't think it's going to be when he's trying to get Kobe back off of Blackbeard's island.
I don't want it to be a thing like, I don't know, I don't want to spoil for Hunter x Hunter because that's like a different story, but like, I don't want it to be a thing where it's like, okay, we're going to show everything cool this character can do and then immediately kill him after, because that's happened so many times in anime and manga. And it's like, can you at least give it room to breathe? Like, show the old dude do something cool and then wait like 100 chapters before you off him? Like, Jesus.
Yeah, like let my dude have some time, man. Because that was a really fun chapter when he just like rolls up on Blackbeard. He's like, here, let me take my grandson's fucking idea, come flying in on a ship, and then just beat the hell out of the earth really quick. Don't mind me. I'm just a guy.
My favorite joke on that, one of my fans suggested was he's an ICBG, an intercontinental ballistic Garp. The One Piece world does not have missiles or nukes. The closest thing they have is throwing Garp at an island.
I mean, Garp is already part canon because he just chucks cannon fodder.
I was just gonna say, all of their cannonballs are they're actually like they're measured by how many Garps per mile or Garps per square inch of power that they can produce.
I love Garp. Oh, dude.
Do I think Garp would die? I thought like haphazardly I say yes. I'm mostly thinking of like, is Kuzan going to kill him? Because the last I remember they had a standoff.
That happens. No, that's not happening.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at. I don't think this is. I'm still not completely on board with evil Kuzan yet. I think he might not be with Sword. I think that there's reason to believe that that's the case. But I am not entirely convinced that he is just like, yeah, I'm all in with Blackbeard now, because I just don't see the drive for that. I think he might have an angle that goes beyond what Sword would try to accomplish, and that's where he's at.
Yeah, see, like, I don't think he's in Sword now. I mean, that used to be the theory for a while, but after we got that flashback, it's like, I wouldn't call him evil. It's just more of like, the way Blackbeard presented his crew is like, hey man, we're just a bunch of people getting ahead here and just trying to do our own thing. Like, obviously, we as the fan base know they're kind of evil, because we kind of like, we can kind of like, from the fourth wall, we kind of see that. But like, they're like, hey, we're just a bunch of people coming together for, similar goals and ambitions, and you could be part of that. And, and then that's what Kuzan saw there. So I think he is loyal to Blackbeard, but, he could go off and do his own thing more. He's more about thinking for himself.
Yes, Kuzan's in a really weird gray area for me, where like, I see after these recent chapters, I'm like, yeah, he might not be Sword like we all thought, but I'm like, I don't want to believe he's just like fully on the Blackbeard train either. Like, I don't know. I just don't have an alternative for him.
I don't think he's using Blackbeard as much as I originally anticipated. Like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, he's clearly just like a fucking agent for the military, blah, 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 blah. That has been completely purged from my expectations.
Yeah, me too.
But I think that what he wants, he can use his position on Blackbeard's crew to elevate himself towards. And should he ever get close enough to his ambition, whatever that might be, where, you know, Blackbeard no longer is useful to him, then he'll just be like, listen, I'm out. And Blackbeard's going to be like, well, I'm going to kick your ass then.
Yeah, it might be something like that.
And then they'll have a fight or whatever, you know, like, you know,
my
common old trope.
Actually, my favorite scene with that whole moment with Aokiji on Hachinosu. And this is another theory, so I'm going to throw this out here, see what you guys think about it. So
here we go.
So Hibari, who's like Kobe's like love interest, like we have to save Kobe senpai. He's my senpai.
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah,
I like this one a lot.
Theory. I love this theory to death. So she speaks in a, I think it was like a Hiroshiman dialect. And the only other character in all of One Piece, I think there's some characters in Wano that use it, but the only other character in the Marines that speaks that way is Akainu.
Yeah.
And so the idea is she's Akainu's daughter, but not only that, when she's running away, the only person Kuzan freezes is her. And it's like, this is just being petty because Akainu ripped off my fucking leg.
Dude. I love this theory so much.
I am register that. That's
all
great.
in. I am all in on that. Even if it's not true, I don't even care. The fact that I get to live in the now.
Not only that, but then we will have the moment where Hibari has to go to her dad and like, I'm dating Kobe.
Yeah,
and then,
dude.
Oh my God, that's so hilarious.
You remember that pink-haired fucking loser you almost killed in the war?
Yeah.
I love him.
That's my fiance.
We're getting married. I'm pregnant, Dad. I'm sorry.
Oh man, dude, could you imagine? Now that's a One Piece party chapter I would love to read.
Yeah, I love that.
I don't really read that spin-off One Piece party shit, but if that ever transpired, I would have to read that.
Oh,
chapter.
I didn't know that even
so
existed for the
good.
longest time. Oddly enough, I didn't even know that was a thing. But I think I only found out about it within like the last year or two.
Yeah, I
dude,
think
but it's
the only reason I know about it is because every so often I'd see like dumb fucking panels on the subreddit or whatever.
That's where I would see it,
yeah, and I'm like, well, what the hell is all this coming from? And it would just be off of One Piece Party, this like spin-off manga of, you know, them just dicking around, which is really up my alley. I just, you know, I struggle committing time to our podcast, let alone
that's just how you're professionals. You're professionals.
Yeah, we're professional here. We take our positions in
you
this community very
spend the other
seriously.
6 days out of the week planning the following podcast, correct? Yes.
Exactly. Yes. It's a full-time commitment. It's a 100. It requires 100% of our brain power all the fucking time. You get it. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
You understand our struggle.
I get it. Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Doug.
I totally did just mentally black out.
I'm so
last 5
glad you
minutes.
brought up that Hibari thing because it's been a minute since Hibari was brought up, and I am 100%
It's hilarious.
on board.
It's just like it's not super relevant. It's just a little side thing, but like the subtext of that, like
the
your
petty
dad
matters.
ripped. Somebody I remember in the comments section when I suggested it was like, that seems like rather petty for Kuzan to do that. I'm like, her dad ripped off his fucking leg. Like, her dad I would be pissed too. You know, like,
we're lucky he hasn't killed her. Just for the look of it, be like, all right, he took my leg, I take his daughter.
Yeah, there you go.
He took my leg, I'll take his daughter.
Have someone rip off your left leg and see what happens. You know, it's like if you're going to be a little petty about that, you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
That would just fully cement Kuzan villain arc. Just, you know what? I don't like your dad, and you got to pay the consequences for that.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, that'd be funny. Oh, dude. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Just that scene. Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, that's great. I feel very accomplished right now.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Justin? You got any other important One Piece bits to bring up? We didn't even mention it, but I did really like the Luffy versus Lucci fight briefly. The Wile E.
It was
Coyote
short,
energy.
but it was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I just like the Wile E. Coyote bit. That's the only reason I care.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Justin. I'm sorry. I asked you, and then
there's just a lot that we could
you.
go, and I don't want to necessarily, take all of our time.
I mean, we got nothing but time, Justin.
That's fair. Well, I have until like 11:30, but no.
I mean, it do be that way.
There is one thing I wanted to bring up from Egghead. I'm just trying to remember. There's so many
Is
things.
it the devil fruit thing?
There's so many things that, honestly, let's just go there. What thoughts on devil fruits? Like, what do you, that little bit of expansion we got on, in universe of One Piece, devil fruits are essentially manifested by enough collective desire, which is very interesting.
That's a perfect example of the. Yeah.
I just want to know who wished for the hobby fruit. Whoever that fucking person is.
Because someone was looking.
Better question. Who wanted to be a jacket?
Bro, when they see that on next. Oh, no.
When
they see that god-awful devil fruit in the next arc, holy shit.
I feel like that bit from Vegapunk, and for those that are keeping track at home and don't know what we're talking about, at one point he kind of explains his theory about where the devil fruit comes from. He's like, hey, I genuinely think that the devil fruit is just a manifestation of people's dreams. Like, people wished hard enough to be something, and a devil fruit like manifested, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. I'm sort of paraphrasing, but that's like that's
essentially the gist of it.
And I think that there's a good chance that that's like the angle that Oda will eventually write the devil fruit. Like, I guess from a scientific perspective, probably. I don't know if there's really much more to sink my teeth into beyond that, which is why I don't linger on it too much.
I tell you what, it'll explain a lot, because one big deal I always had with devil fruits is like, okay, for them to be a naturally occurring thing, it's like, okay, the ones that turn you into like electricity and fire, it's like, all right, I get it. But then you get to the one, and animals make sense too. Sure, fine. But then you get into the ones that are like, this turns you into paramecias, yeah. They turn you into weapons. They turn you into jackets. They turn you in. There's Suru's fruit, which is like literally the concept of laundry. Not soap, not water, laundry, specifically as a concept. And I'm like, all right, the idea of humans creating them through their own desires or dreams, it depends on the context. And it's like, yeah, that tracks. I can see that.
And I don't know if it was you in a video that I was listening to, or something else I maybe read on the internet, but the idea of like, okay, so if we believe devil fruits come from dreams, is there an alternative where, like, what about nightmares? Like, what do you get from those?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know about that angle with it, but the opposite was, they said that, like, okay, the Mother Ocean, Mother Earth hates the idea of devil fruits because they're unnatural. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of gotten me on the track where Eam is Mother Ocean. Or like the avatar of Mother Ocean, or in some way.
My new favorite theory is that whatever Eam's devil fruit is, if assuming that they have one, is that it is literally just the weird cartoon version of the devil, like from those old like rubber hose style animations, which is what hopefully pierced like Cobra when he got stabbed by that weird arrow looking thing. Maybe it was like the devil's tail. I think that that's a super funny idea.
Artor did a video about this where he talked about it, and if you look at that one scene with the tail, the little arrow, there's actually like something dripping off of it, and it's all silhouetted, so you can't tell. It could be ink because it's all black, but what if it's like, what if Eam literally is the ocean goddess, and that whole transformation is just water, like he's just water made manifest, you know?
Oh shit.
Also explains why Sabo got slashed by that thing, and he looked like he was in a lot of pain from that one attack. So
very true.
Yeah, that's like, what if Eam is literally the embodiment of the ocean, slashing a devil fruit user, and just like, because Sabo looked like he was like insane amount of pain from that one attack. You know,
he was not having a good time after that hit.
No.
Totally agree. What else you got cooking over there, Justin?
I guess if we wanted to take a stab at this, do you have what would you predict to be this grandiose event that Oda's keeping us like in suspense for, that's going to like happen on Egghead, going to flip the world upside down? Because we already have what's happening at the Reverie. Like, granted, that's more covert and behind the curtain, but that's, shaking the world's core, just unaware to the common person or whatever. I've been thinking about, like, what's going to happen on Egghead? That, like what could we possibly do? And a part of me thinks a part of it is CP0 is going to retrieve Robin.
Okay.
I don't think that's necessarily, like, the thing, but I have something in my guts telling me that, like, Rob Lucci's going to get his hands on Robin again. I feel it.
Interesting. What do you think they're going to do with Robin once he gets her, though? Just like run away with her?
I will say, I would love to see Robin interact with Eam. That I would love to see that happen.
As much as I want to see that, there's only one interaction that I've been dying for my entire One Piece viewing existence, and that is for Robin to reunite with her long lost brother Jabra. Finally, so they can finally.
Oh yeah, I hope they call back that at some point. Yeah,
I want to see Jabra and Robin finally get back together. They've been separated for too damn long. It breaks my heart.
God damn you.
I would love that.
I broke my coworker
I would
here.
love I would love Jabra and Robin to be in the same room, and it was like Usopp or somebody or Sanji. I can't remember who was the one that actually started that.
It was
that
Sanji, because it was Jabra just like made up some random fucking story.
Right. But it'd be like, but Robin has no idea that story exists. So it'd be funny if like they were in the same room and they brought it up and Robin's like, what? He's not my what?
No, even better. I imagine. Okay, so now I'm gonna allow Justin's theory here to just transpire for a minute. Robin's gonna be like bound in chains in a room somewhere, and Jabra's gonna like walk in and be like, you don't know who I am, do you? And she's just gonna be like, no. And he's gonna be like, I'm your long lost brother.
And it turned out to be true.
Yeah, what if it turned out to be true, though?
Oh, God.
Oh, man, I'm so sorry. That's just one of my favorite dumb bits from Water 7. I never let that shit live. Never lived that shit down.
Oh, you know what? Jabra is 37. Robin, I think, is 30. I mean, it could work.
There's a chance.
Could be his older brother. Could be her older brother. Who knows?
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Who really knows?
If it was Usopp that said this, I'd be all in on it. Unfortunately, since Usopp's lies all become true eventually. But
yeah, that's like that. I love that running gag that's been going on for years. It's great.
It's the Usopp lies becoming truth is one of my favorite ongoing bits. Now, I'm not extremely thrilled about that one time he said he would be happy if he died on an island as a warrior one day.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
That one still scares me to this day, but we pretend that we don't let that sleep paralysis demon keep me up at night.
Yep. What else can we say? That's what I think. Robin is gonna get.
Well, you're saying what's going to be the event that shakes the world. Well, yeah. I don't know necessarily if I think that Robin's going to get abducted. I feel like it's definitely going to have something to do with Kuma's memory bubble. I would assume, since it's like kept under lock and key. I don't know, maybe like there's a way he can like transmit like a bunch of memories everywhere. Maybe they can like turn on that weird machine that Vegapunk was talking about, where he can like essentially turn the Matrix on and everyone's like in this one fucking, like he can like beam like knowledge to people or something.
Yeah, the internet basically.
Yeah, essentially like creating the internet. Like actually though. Like maybe if they use that some way and like the entire world becomes aware of like some of like the shadiest shit that the government's been hiding.
I was thinking it's something like that too. I think this might be a little bit too ambitious, but it's setting up a massive war, right? Like Kizaru's going, the army of robots of the Mark IIIs, the Cypher Pool is probably going to all end up there. The Straw Hats, Vegapunk is all there.
Garcia Saturn is there, and we now know he's not some pushover.
Remember the Gorosei is there. This needs to be a giant ass battle for it to really make sense, but like we're gonna have this giant battle, and then I guess there's a giant battle at the end of the series, so that's like a lot of giant battles. But if Oda wants to go that way with it, yeah, sure.
In my head, I'm convinced that this is more of a preamble. Like I don't know what could happen. I don't imagine now that we have further knowledge, I don't imagine we ever killed Saturn on this island. I'd be very surprised if we pull that off.
No, I don't think there's any shot of that.
But something has to happen where like it's not necessarily like a war that breaks out, but it has to be like something super crazy where like that leads to my and many other fans assume future of One Piece, where we're just gonna have like Marineford Part 2. Essentially.
Yeah, it's,
So I think that eventually it will all transpire into that giant war. And I do aspire to the theory that, they'll eventually break the red line one day and then probably use all the ancient weapons and that'll create the All Blue. I am 100% invested in on that theory. I guess the question just remains like what specific event will happen on Egghead to like catapult that into the future? I guess maybe like something with maybe now assuming that this weird fucking, beam of death that comes from the sky is Uranus.
Oh, yeah, that thing.
We assume it's Uranus at this point. I guess I kind of have to believe it is.
I assume it's an artificial weapon. I think it was actually created by Vegapunk. I don't think it's the actual ancient weapon.
So this is where I start to like, I'm sort of like torn. Because on one hand, I almost think that there's a good chance that Uranus was lost to time or just destroyed once upon a time. And potentially maybe this new version of it was fixed by Vegapunk once upon a time or relatively recently, and now it works again. So they finally have one of their ancient weapons back under lock and key or whatever. At least that's kind of like what my initial reaction is. But,
I think the real Uranus is on the moon with Eneru, and that's how he's going to tie back into everything.
I believe that.
And
then coming back, baby. We're going to the moon.
God of Sky, or he comes down with it or something, and Vegapunk, maybe not Vegapunk himself, but maybe because York is a traitor. I don't know how you would fit it in, but somehow, because Vegapunk is, in the chapter, Dragon and Ivankov were talking about it, like, oh, we only know one person that could make something like that. It would be Vegapunk. And they're like, oh, he would never do that. And it's like, well, I mean...
there's 7 others, so,
The dude made a lightsaber, and he was like, oh, it's supposed to, like a bug zapper or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like, he made those giant cannons that were the gunpowder star. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Vegapunk also has a interesting propensity for creating something that I think any outsider would identify as a wild success. And he's like, no, that was a failure. Like, especially now we're finishing
I
Punk
love
Hazard
that bit so much.
And we just got introduced to Momo, and he's like, oh, he ate the artificial devil fruit, and they said that was a failure. And I'm like, under what capacity is that a failure? You just reproduced Kaido.
No. They did this bit where he was like, hey, out of curiosity, what color was he when he transformed? And then Luffy was like, pink. He's like, I fucking knew it. I did it all wrong. It all fucking sucks.
I mean, he did mess it up. I mean, that's a pretty big deal. I mean, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah of course.
We're waiting for Azure Dragon. I got a fucking cotton candy pink one. God damn it.
I mean, you're getting close. Peach. I mean, bright pink, bright blue, you're getting there, but like, you're way off, Vegapunk.
The gender reveal party's ruined.
Well, at least you didn't set a forest on fire, so I mean.
Oh yeah, shout out to Canada back there.
No, that actually happened. Like, there was a gender reveal party out in California that actually set a forest on fire because they were using like an incendiary device as like pink smoke or blue smoke
there
or
was
whatever.
Like a large stretch of those in California, and I'm just
Yeah.
No, that was. I remember that. That was during lockdown for a little while. Man, those are some wild
that was
times.
One of the domino effects. It was like events leading up to 2020. California wildfire started by gender reveal parties, murder hornets, COVID, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yep, that's where we're at right now in life. One Piece is still good though. I mean, that's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Got this fucking show, That sounds like a win to me, baby.
My one thing keeping me going in life is podcast and One Piece.
All right. Well, before we move on to these last general topic points, because we do have a couple more questions. You guys have anything, any dire or necessary things you want to bring to the table? Really
quick? I'm good so far. Yeah.
All right. Gender bend law is hot. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh God, yes, but that's another day for another type of stream.
that requires a 2-hour podcast episode in and of itself to digest. So
One Piece with Lime after dark. How about that?
Right.
There you go. Yeah.
Patent pending. Dylan, get on that.
Actually, okay, unironically, because lemon and lime, those are terms used in like fan fiction community. Like a fan fiction that's considered a lemon is like NS like FW, like not safe for work, kind of like R18 plus. So you could just go One Piece with lime, and that could be. I mean, One Piece with lemon, and that could be your R18 plus kind of thing. Yeah.
I don't know if you're looking at our chat right now, but they're all fucking freaking out. They love your plan.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yeah,
they are very invested in this idea.
This is how we finally get Patreon content going.
Oh my fucking God, you're all animals. I hate every single one of you. Not you, Tekking, you're great. These other people.
Love you. Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on to one of our other little talking points. So that will conclude, not permanently. I mean, it depends on if we round back somehow to One Piece. That will conclude the One Piece spoiler portion of your regularly scheduled podcast. So if you don't care about anything else, then fucking leave. Anyway, moving on. So we have a very specific question from our co-host, Christian. He recognized that on your Twitter, you made a list.
We don't know how he got
there,
by the way. He was treading a very dangerous line.
He was treading some pretty dangerous lines, yeah. He noticed that you made a tweet of the list of strongest anime characters, in your opinion. He just wants you to digest that for us, if you could.
Right. So I made that. That's my pinned tweet for like 3 years now. I actually
I saw that on the document, and I'm like, oh yeah, I do have that thing. I should probably change that, but I haven't thought of anything better in 3 years. That's the best I have.
You have the list, right? Let's just go over the list for the listeners.
Yes, let's go over the list. Go ahead.
Yes. So in the number 5 slot, so this is listed 1 through 5. So we will go in ascending order. If you,
I think it's the best badasses in anime or something. I titled it. Yeah.
Yes, it is presenting the top 5 biggest badasses in all of anime.
Yep.
In the number 5 spot, we have King from One Punch Man, not from One Piece. In the number 4 slot, we have the one and only Buggy D. Clown, future king of the pirates. I feel like he's a little low, but I am I'm ready for your explanation. In the number 3 spot, we have Mr. Satan himself from Dragon Ball Z. Number 2 is Ronald Weasley from Harry Potter fame. And finally, we have, and this one might actually be my favorite, Hunter x Hunter narrator voice guy. So out of all of the characters in Hunter x Hunter, clearly the narrator spoke to you the most, huh?
Yeah, so I had to kind of remember, dig up the memory of when I made that tweet, and I'm like, okay, pretty sure how this went down was I was rewatching Hunter x Hunter for probably the 5th time.
Sure.
Because it's the best, it's a really good anime. And I'm like, I love a series that does the narrator, because you don't have to have characters do exposition shit. It's like, oh my God, he's jumping in the air and using his special ability to defeat him. It's like, no, you just have a narrator. There you go, done. And I love the English narrator in Hunter x Hunter. He's just so dramatic. He doesn't. He's not goofy. He's not silly. It'll be a moment and then the king released his aura, and all that felt it within a 2-mile radius had a sense of abject dread. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool, So I just decided, okay, he's the greatest anime character ever, and I was going to make this stupid list, and I just listed, okay, joke characters. So all the joke characters that popped into my head, we have King from One Punch Man, we have Buggy, we have Mr. Satan, and then I'm like, I needed one more, and I'm like, fuck it, Ronald Weasley. And then I did Hunter x Hunter narrator. It was all just a ploy to get to Hunter x Hunter narrator voice guy.
Understood. Yeah. So every character behind it was really just the road that led to the penultimate Hunter x Hunter narrator voice guy.
Yeah, I love that dude. I want to meet that guy. I don't know if he would ever be at a convention, but I would love to get his. And I want his autograph to be Hunter x Hunter narrator voice guy.
That's good. Beautiful. Similarly, I don't know the voice actor for Hunter x Hunter narrator by name, but Bill Jenkins, who's the guy who does the narration for all the One Piece stuff, he's another one of my favorite.
He's great too.
I love him so much.
The original Dragon Ball Z, next time on Dragon Ball Z. Love that dude.
So fucking good, dude.
Yeah.
Narrators do not get enough respect, and it's criminal.
They really don't. There's one, there's a series, and I love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I want to keep that in mind. I love JoJo's. No, they actually, okay, that's a weird one, because there is a narrator in JoJo's, but then you'll also have a character like Speedwagon that'll just be doing play-by-play in the background, and that's okay, we're doing both here now. It's like, oh my God, Jonathan got kicked by Dio, and now he's being frozen. It's like, yeah, we have a narrator for that. Why are you here? But it's like, okay, I get it.
Well, to be fair, there's a couple of ways you can play that. Sometimes that can be fun, because you think back to, and I haven't seen the show in excess myself, so I only know it by clips, but the Kaguya-sama Love is War or whatever, I hear the narrator does that kind of energy a lot, where he's flipping the fuck out or whatever. I believe it's actually, I think it's Ian Sinclair, the same guy who does Brooke in One Piece stuff.
One Piece, yeah. I mean, I've seen some good narrators, and it's just, but the Hunter x Hunter narrator voice guy edges them all out. There you go.
That's fantastic. I'm glad that's an incredible piece of lore. Thank you for
You're welcome. I'm glad I could elucidate you on that one a little bit.
All right, so I would continue in our list, but this is the part of our cast where we have to deal with a little bit of issues. What is this highlighted Skimpy theory?
So earlier this morning, our listener Skimpy requested that I speak on his behalf since he's at work currently. He has this tinfoil hat theory about something. I'm not going to say it's the potential real identity of Eam, but I will send you these pictures because The first thing he sent was a random statue from Skypiea that just has randomly a it's put in focus, and also for some reason the photo isn't actually downloaded on my phone, and I'm very upset.
I know what you're getting at. All right, so Skippy would like you to comment on whether or not you think that Eam looks like actually, if you go into the text channel of this exact Discord channel, you'll see it.
I see it. Yeah.
Thank you. Somebody
if you believe
that.
The homie on the right, if you are familiar, is the same design of a statue from Skypiea. And if maybe perhaps that is the true version of Eam and not the one on the left, which is
not
just
the sexy lady who everybody wants Eam to be the sexy lady.
He sent a picture.
Which, by the way, I'm in that camp too because, like, yeah,
I'm kind of in that. Maybe that's true.
Skypiea is going to tie back to all this in a big way. Because there were ruins from Shandora that were existing way before the Void Century, like Robin. That was like a big point when Robin was looking at all that stuff. And then you get to the moon with Eneru, and there's everything there. Like, oh, this stuff existed long and long before the Void Century did. So, if Eam did resemble the kind of statue figure from that, I guess it would make sense. It would tie back thematically. But sexy lady, though, I mean, come on. I mean, this is,
But also,
this is one piece we're talking about here.
So, like, gags.
I do love a good gag, to be fair.
I just wish I could send you the picture of the freaking statue, but my phone's being bad. It won't send me.
It
won't let me download it. I'm sad.
It's okay.
But it's basically just that image on the right, but it's just a stone statue that was just in his brain suspiciously put in center focus in a frame in Skypiea for no real reason.
Basically, what we're saying is we are not going to allow you to leave here today until you believe that the statue is the true version of Eam.
Oh, I'm sure. Fine. I was in a stream with Parvision once, and he was like, okay, I have all these crazy theories. What do you think about them? And I'm like, dude, literally with One Piece, all these theories could track.
Like, everything's on the fucking table, right?
Literally everything is on the table with this. Like, even if you said something absolutely ridiculous, and it's just something like I remember one thing Par said, it was like, Zoro is actually a plant. I'm like, yeah, sure. Fine, I could say Oda could probably make that work.
Like, his mom's name is apparently Terra, which does mean Earth.
There you go. By the way, I love that because so with the different Yonko, you have the the Sweet Commanders with Big Mom. You have the three calamities with Kaido. I love the idea that Luffy's commanders, which would be like Sanji, Zoro, and Jinbei, are son of the sea Jinbei, son of the earth Zoro, son of the sky, because Sanji's mother is Sora, which means sky. So
yes.
Perfect. Yeah, I've seen that statue before. I've seen that guy.
I too love that idea.
Yeah, that's Eam right there. I believe it. There you go.
Out of curiosity, since it just brings it to my attention.
The good news is we can allow you to leave now. I'm not happy about it. But
I do have
not. You don't have to try hard to get me to believe in One Piece crack theories. It's not hard.
All you really have to do is present it. I don't even need an abstract.
Yep. That's the fun part about talking about it online, dude. And there you go.
Actually, no, I feel that energy for sure.
It's a little side tangent. Have you ever seen the anime Hitman Reborn? I don't remember what it's fully called in Japanese.
No, I've never seen Hitman Reborn.
Okay, then that conversation ends. Great.
I know very little about it.
I was only going to ask.
I read the first chapter of it or something a long time ago, and that was it.
I personally recommend the series. It is a bit of a slog to get through, first 15-ish episodes, because it's just kind of slice of life, and then you get to the shonen shows. But the only reason I brought it up was due to the recent naming of, Zoro's family lineage and his mother in particular, and then Sanji's mom's name, and then the metaphorical painting or just the whole sky imagery of we have Luffy who's the sun, and then under the sun you have the earth and the water, all that kind of stuff. It made me think of Hitman Reborn just because it's about Italian mafias, and each member who's important gets a ring that represents usually an element. And the theme in his family is the leader is the sky, I believe. So the head honcho, the Vongola Familia guys, he's the sky, and all of his family reigns under him, and his head honchos are things in the sky. So you have, my cloud guardian, my sun guardian, my earth, wind, and water guardian, things like that. And I was
that's cool.
Yeah,
I like that idea.
I saw that imagery in my head. I was like, damn, it'd be really cool if that's something we can kind of work toward with our One Piece crew here.
I like that idea.
I just let my author cook, man. If he comes up with that, he can have it.
Yep.
I think one of my biggest most recent I was really annoyed with his writing until he had an opportunity to expand on it was in the You know the chapter where Shanks came out and, basically told Green Bull to fuck off? I genuinely hated that bit for the longest time because I'm like, oh, okay, so Shanks showed up for 5 minutes, told Green Bull to fuck off, and then fucked off himself. What was he there for? And then later he sort of expanded on it a little bit later.
I was going to say, what was he there for to expand Film Red?
Well, okay, no. So that's just it. So at the time, that was the only reason he had to be there, which I was like, this kind of fucking bothers me. Until he sort of wrote it a little bit better and was like, wow, I really thought Blackbeard was going to show up. And I'm like, okay, all right.
That's fair, though, because a lot of people, he was involved in Wano. Blackbeard knew what was going on there. He had somebody that was leaking him information, so that's a fair assumption to make.
Usually when I give my boy time, he can, even when he loses me, he can usually bring me back.
That's fair, though, because that happens so often. Like, I think it's very important to just, like, first impressions are first impressions, okay? Like, when Luffy first went into Gear 5th, there were so many people like, this is stupid. I'm like, guys, he just went into the form in the last chapter. Can we take a couple of weeks to see what Oda's going to do with this,
I couldn't agree more, but can I tell you, man, the moment I saw that fucker on my screen or on my panel, I was infatuated.
I love it. Oh, no, me too. I thought it was amazing, but a lot of people were upset with it because, I think there was that, once again, the idea like Luffy's Gear 5 is going to be him like Super Saiyan 4. He's really serious. He's ready to kick ass and take names.
I don't know where that energy comes from. I don't know why it hasn't died yet, but people just
It's just anime tropes,
People just want Goku
we were talking in our Discord about how his level ups have gone from he starts stage 1 as a dork, then he goes into fast dork, then he becomes big dork, then he becomes scary big badass, and then he becomes in capital letters dork. That is his fucking power scaling.
I love that. That's great. Yeah,
he slowly gets cooler and cooler until he just circles back around like an
in a weird way. You know what it reminds me of? I can't think of any specifics, but I just remember a lot of Digimon Digivolutions back in the day kind of followed a similar thing. Like, Rookie is whatever, Champion's cool, Ultra's badass, and then Mega goes back to something completely different. And it's like, what? Okay. But that's sure. Yeah, let's roll with that. Yeah.
Or think about like, especially it was like Digimon 02 with like all the armor evolutions. It was like, you have all those champions and megas or whatever. And then I think about like Vmon, where it's like, okay, he turns into like Flamedramon and all these other things. And then you get X Vmon. I'm like, this is just Vmon in adult mode. Where like, I like it, but why are we waiting like so long to like unveil this? Like, how is this not the first evolutionary stage you reveal? Like, It was very funny to me.
Exactly, that's how it goes. Yeah, so that reminded me of that. But like that fan art in the chat right there, that's like, that's one of the stuff I saw around. Like Luffy just armament hockey covers his whole body.
Yeah.
His scars light up. Because he has like the tribal tattoos kind of in Gear 4th a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just looks like he's just going to one-punch Kaido and kill him. Which, by the way, I'm also very happy that Luffy did not go into Gear 5th and immediately one-shot Kaido. It was still a fight. Yes.
Beyond a shadow of doubt, I totally agree. If it would have become like this like one-sided skirmish where like there wasn't really any. Now, I don't always love when the final like bit of the villain is just like a power like tug of war.
That gets kind of boring.
But I was here for giant big monkey fist though.
Giant. And I love that because Oda said that earlier. Like, I don't want to just end Kaido with like a giant fist. And I'm like, no, here comes the giant fist. I'm just going to make a really. Wait, no, hold on now. I'm going to make a really big fist. Well, Luffy's already done that. No, you don't understand. You don't get really big fist.
This one will be island sized.
Yes. This will be the moon. All right, here you go.
I love that for the most part, all of Luffy's like upgrades just essentially go into, okay, here's a really strong fist that eventually becomes a Gatling, that eventually becomes a version with fire on it. I can't wait until we get to the Bajangarang gun with fire, dude.
My favorite one was, I don't know if this was something, I think it was in the manga partially, but the anime expanded on it. So we have a flashback when Luffy was on Ruskaina training with Rayleigh, and he's like trying to, like Rayleigh, I made a really big fist and tried to punch this ape, but it didn't work. And Rayleigh's like, okay, Luffy, what you need to do is you need to sit down and you need to think of some other way to fight. And Luffy thinks for a second and he's like, bigger fist. And Rayleigh's like, son of a... That'll be even harder. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. You do you, Luffy. You know how to fight. You know what I mean? Like Rayleigh tried to get him to think outside the box, but, man, what a fucking
dumbass. I love
but
him
it
so
works.
much.
Don't fix what's not broke.
Honestly, same. Let's be fucking
like
real.
if I haven't
Luffy
heard
makes
it, my
up-
fist is just not big enough. Clearly.
Like, honestly, like, what problem can you not solve with a giant fist? And it's like, well, you can't solve this. You can't beat Eam. I'm like, oh, you don't understand how big this fist can get.
You don't know how big my fists can get.
You know, like, and Luffy is Garp's grandson. So, I mean, come on. The fist.
Boy, yeah. He will become the fist one day. He will be known as Straw Hat Luffy.
He is
fist
truly the Iron
of all
Fist.
mankind.
Mhm.
He is the Iron Fist. All right.
The rubber fist. All right.
Moving on to our next question. What besides One Piece are you currently into right now? Now, I'm sort of familiar. So you are also a relatively large Bleach YouTuber as well, correct?
Yeah, I mean, Bleach is what I started with, so I'm following that, of course. The anime's coming back, I think, July 8th. So I have a separate channel called Bongcast where I do that stuff.
I gotta go follow. Bleach is kind of like my first anime that I watched and knew it was anime, and I.
Yeah, wasn't my first one of those, but yeah, it was one of the first. Yeah.
For sure.
But I'm doing that, and then like something else I'm into right now. I'm reading Joe Abercrombie's First Law trilogy, which is a really great fantasy series. If you've ever checked that out,
my goodness, I have never heard of it. Can you give me a quick synopsis?
Yeah, you really can't. I really
As a matter
can't.
of fact, dude, I fucking can't. You don't understand.
All right, you know why I can't? Because there's 3 books in the trilogy. Obviously, the first book is just character development for the cast. It's 500 pages just for basically character development. And then the story doesn't really start until the second book, what I'm on right now.
This just isn't like manuscripts you got access to and you just haven't realized it yet?
No, it's published shit. It's really good. So check it out.
Interesting. I'll definitely
that's what I'm into right now. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's awesome. I wish that I could I could relate, but I'll tell you what, I'm gonna definitely look into it now that you brought it to my attention for sure.
Yeah. I mean that's fine.
New question. In recent memory, what purchase of $100 or less has most positively impacted your life?
Okay. This is all right. I have one, but it was last year, so probably not recent.
Sure.
But it has impacted my life in a significant way for probably the foreseeable future. It's probably going to be something I'm going to, like, if this breaks, I'm going to have to get a new one for the rest of my life. This is just how it works, okay?
Okay, yep.
It's a bidet attachment for a toilet.
I was going to say, this motherfucker's going to talk about his bidet. Dude, can I tell you, I recently got a bidet myself.
Right, I know, right?
I love it. I know,
everyone
needs one, is all I'm saying.
Literally, there's moments, it's every moment into your life up until right now, and then every moment afterwards that you get a bidet.
I fucking, in my heart of hearts, I knew you were going bidet. I'm so glad you went there, man. Thank you. I feel seen right now.
Every time my friends come down my house, and I should, like the first time they've been at my place, I'm like, here's whatever, here's my bidet. And some of them laugh and some of them look at me weird and I'm like, listen to me. Try it for yourself. Do not laugh. Do not act like I've had something like, I don't know how I feel about water spraying up my... No, you're wrong. It's amazing. All right? It makes you feel so much cleaner after everything is said and done. You are going to love this thing. All right?
Yes. I can't agree more. My fucking God. Thank you. I feel so seen right now. Justin, what about you? What's been your best less than $100 purchase that's impacted your life recently?
I'm not really a big spender, generally speaking. I don't really tend to make big purchases.
That's pretty fair.
Most of my money, if it's like a big spending thing, it's like something crucial. But it was either a concert, because I listen to metal, so my music is kind of cheap in terms of like live music experience, thank God. Or
yes.
I think on my birthday, me and the guys just went out, and there's a what do you call it? Like like every Saturday during the summer, there's a park that fills up with like street food vendors, and
cool.
you just pick out that, and I'm like, I like that. Just $5 at every stall, you get yourself an international feast kind of thing.
I love that kind of shit. Yeah.
What about you?
I would throw down. Well, I'm going to level with you. My answer was going to be a bidet. So
they're not expensive. South Park did the episode on it like a little while ago. I got mine before that, but like the Japanese toilet episode, I wouldn't drop $5,000 on a toilet. But like,
no, absolutely not,
dude. I was at an Airbnb last year though in San Francisco, and they had a heated seat with the bidet, hot water, and all these other buttons and all the whole bells and whistles, and it was so nice.
I do have a heated towel rack as well, and that shit also changes my life. Yes, I highly recommend. Now, I won't say that that's quite as life-changing as a bidet is, but I'm just saying, like, if you want like a nice hot towel, but when you get done with your shower, it's kind of nice.
Is it a towel rack, or I saw a thing that was like a little? It was like a little tube thing. You put the towels in, and it warms them up, and you take them out.
No, you do have to plug it in, and you mount it like it's its own towel rack. And you just have like a couple of settings. You can get ones with a remote. I just got one with a switch on it.
That's so cool, though.
And then you can, like when you get into the shower, you can flip it on. It'll warm up enough to heat your towels up for when you get out that you can turn it off, so it's not like sitting there collecting heat all day or whatever. Yeah, it's super nice. I love it so much, actually.
But I'm telling you what, man, that bidet, mine was only like $40. So
get yourself a bidet.
You know what? I'm buying a second one right now. You know
there you go. Perfect. You see that? We did it, people. We're all in, dude. All right, last question of our general question stuff. What are bad recommendations? We always have to have a couple negative questions. What are bad recommendations you hear in your profession or your area of expertise? And oh boy, I'm sure that is a loaded question.
Well, okay. What a clarifying question. Do you mean like a bad recommendation in the sense that like the recommendation for something is just poorly explained or executed, or this is a bad explanation like this series sucks, don't read it, you know?
I would say definitely we're not interested in like the naysayers that are just like, hey, the series that you've like devoted your career to is trash. Maybe more like, hey, you should really check this out because it means a lot to me. And then you find out you look into it and you're like, not for me.
Well, or even just like outside of like media, just like, you know, someone just tells you,
somebody tells you to get a bidet and you're like, I hate a bidet, but we all know that'll never happen.
Yeah,
so.
like in our alternate universe where someone tells you to get a bidet, you don't, kind of thing.
There was, man, you bring that up, and there was something recently in my life, and I can't remember what it was right now, where somebody recommended this thing to me, and they were like, I can't remember if it was like a type of food or something, but like, they were like, you know what it was? Yeah, okay, I was at a barbecue last week, and they were like, cottage cheese is incredible. And I'm like, no, it's disgusting. And everybody at the barbecue was like, I love cottage cheese. I'm like, you're all the weirdest pieces.
They're all wrong. They're all objectively wrong.
You were all objectively wrong. It is the most disgusting piece of food ever like created. I hate cottage cheese. So
what about a slightly more personal one? What about like for your career then? Like, do you ever get like people in the back that are like, hey, dude, you should, have a TikTok and then I'll like run it for you.
So, I'll get stuff like that, but that's not really a bad recommendation. I've had people in my life like tell me that like, okay, yeah, so YouTube's going good, but it's not going to last forever. So what do you really want to do with your life? And I kind of kept being like, I'm going to keep doing YouTube. And they're like,
I'm chilling.
I don't know about that. And I'm like, I'm sure, no, this is going to work. Trust me. And it worked out.
And when it stops working, I'll have so much money, I don't need to do it anymore.
I got to be honest with you, like, because, my parents grew up in the 60s, so they have no idea. So I remember starting YouTube right out of high school, and my mom's like, you can't make money off this. This isn't going to work. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you're wrong on this. I got to keep going with it.
Right.
And I'm just sorry. I got an executive decision this. I'm right. And my dad kind of had the same thing. I had an advisor at college that said the same thing. And I'm like, I'm really sorry. You guys are just really old and outdated. I'm doing this. All right.
I mean, it's all fun and games until you finally show. I mean, I'm just going to say, like, it's all fun and games until you show the boomers the paycheck. And then they're
No, that's what happened with my mom. No, that was so funny. Because, like, I was working part-time at a dollar store at the time, and I was making maybe $300 a month. So I'm doing YouTube, not getting paid anything at first. And then I start making about the same at my part-time job. And my mom's like, yeah, all right, I guess it's whatever. Then I start making more than she makes at her full-time job at Walmart. And I'm like, all right, now do you see it? And it kept going. And I'm like, okay, all right, now I get it. Okay.
That's all right,
you're good. Yeah, keep doing that. Keep doing that. Yeah.
You do you, man. You're doing good. Yeah. And suddenly they're all like, wow, I'm so proud of you. You're doing great. Yeah. Fucking Jesus. Come on.
Yeah, but it's just, boomers. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Boomers be booming, man.
Yeah, they had no idea the internet was going to exist. I'm like, well, yeah, here we are.
And here we are indeed.
Dude, I had to explain at that same barbecue, I had to explain to my dad what OnlyFans was because he didn't know.
Ooh, what a lovely family
I don't think I could. I would not be able to sit down with my mother and explain OnlyFans to her.
I have a better story with my...
Oh boy, here we go. Please.
All right, look, I get a text from my mom one day, and it's just no context. She just sends me a text like, I'm thinking about starting an OnlyFans.
Oh.
And I look at that text, and I look, my mom doesn't know really anything about the internet. Not really. She has a phone. She goes on Facebook and shit. So I'm looking at that, and I'm like, she doesn't know what that is.
she probably saw some random person talking about it and she thinks it's like, oh, wait. She probably heard like OnlyFans make money off the internet. And my mom's like, I bet I could do that. And she didn't even look into it. And so I'm like, I told her, I said, Mom, you know what? Like, whatever you want to do, you're an adult. You can, whatever. Don't ask me to watch it or get involved or like anything. But like, I could teach you how to. I could teach you how to start the account if you want me to, but I'm not going beyond that. You know what I mean? Like, and then I had to explain to her, like, you know what it is, right? And she's like, no. And it's like porn fetish. And she's like, oh my God. Yeah. And so that was fucking great. But
incredible.
Yeah.
My God.
I was like, hey, you want to do it? Sure. I have extra cameras. I have all this extra crap.
I can easily give you all of the resources you need to get yourself going.
Yes.
Do not ask me to be present.
No. I'll show you how to hook it up, and I'll show you how to upload videos.
And then we never talk
everything
about
else you do on your own. Yeah. That's how it goes.
Dude.
That's the arrangement. Yes.
That's fucking amazing. Thank you for sharing that with me. That made my entire
you're welcome.
night.
There you go. I've told that story before on a live stream once, so it's like, that'd be all right. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Out of curiosity, do your parents tune into any of your content?
So I think actually since I moved out, my mom will be like, I watched one of your videos today, and I'm like, oh, that's sad. I'm sorry. Because she like misses me because I moved out. But I mean, my dad, he'll tune in every once in a while, but they've kind of already established like they have no fucking idea what I'm talking about.
They're not really in tune with it, dude. My parents don't even know about my podcast, so like,
no, and I'm not upset in the slightest. Like, if I asked my parents, like, what do I do? And it's like, you do YouTube videos. What do I talk about? One Piece. All right. Who's the main character? Yeah, that's the point where they would end. They have no idea.
Hey, when the live action comes out, maybe you guys can have something to sink your teeth into together.
My mom actually has to get her own Netflix because she can't use mine anymore because of the change.
The tables have turned.
Oh man, the tables be turning though.
But my aunt, my dad's sister, she's a little bit younger. She's Gen X. She's not a boomer. She's Gen X, but she watches a lot of Netflix. And I remember when the Death Note live action came out, she watched that and she's like, I kind of liked it. And I'm like, go watch the anime, please.
Don't say those words without seeing the anime, please.
Please. Yeah, I thought it was a good idea. I thought it was a good story. I'm like, well, that's great because you're going to love the anime then if you thought the live action was good. The anime is going to blow you out of the water then.
Oh boy.
But my mom and my aunt might watch it. I don't know. I've told them about it, and it's just like, all right, we'll see because
they check it out. Whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on though to our final couple of things. So we have a thing at the end. We don't need a bag today. We normally do this thing called a grab bag, where we pretend to pick a random thing that we do every week.
We give each other trauma on a weekly basis to pull out a fun little activity to do at the end segment.
That's another dumb thing. We'll like ad lib like a small bit to like wean us into somebody grabbing something out of a grab bag.
It's never fun. Well, it's usually someone suffering.
It's usually somebody dies, goes to jail, or has to like get maimed. Like it's a whole thing. We're very not creative here. But this week we have chosen recommendation since we have our lovely guest this week. Do you have a recommendation for our listeners, whether it be a book, movie, show, or even a rice package? Do you have a particular kind of rice you like? We don't know.
I mean, I like, is it basmati or basmati? That's usually what I use when I cook curry. I use that.
Basmati. What in the
Basmati is how
I
it's
was
spelled.
told I was introduced to as basmati. I'm sure
basmati. I've always said basmati. Yeah, and then I mean jasmine. I'll dabble a little bit, but my go-to is basmati. And so curry's great. Let's see. Anything else I can really recommend here?
It can be literally anything. Like we've talked about video games, we talked about books, we've done movies and shows.
Video games, Tears of the Kingdom, anime. I like. I'm watching Ancient Magus Bride Part 2, Season 2 right now. That's really good. And then
nice.
I'm watching a guy on YouTube called Sam the Cooking Guy, and I actually made one of his recipes today. So he's a really cool dude. So there you go. There's a bunch of recommendations.
Nice.
All right. Well, fantastic. We appreciate it. Well, and in addition to that, we're actually doing another grab bag, and that means nothing to you, but make no mistake, we only ever do one of these. We're doing we do another grab bag bit that we call casting call, and I'm gonna level with you, Tekking. We're gonna make you we're putting you in the ringer here. Normally we give ourselves a little bit of time in advance to come up with actors, so this is the bit.
Okay.
We pick a random character in the One Piece universe. And this character this week will be one of my favorites. His name is Foxy. Maybe you know him. And we are going to pick any actor you want. We don't like put a line in the sand because at the end of the day,
I got one already.
Perfect. Well, we'll go first just to give you, and if you need any extra time, because we usually get like a list of like 2 or 3, give or take. I got a list of fucking
fine,
4.
But if you suggest my guy, then
that's you know what
he leaves.
We call that sniping here. Yeah, this is when you're like, I'm fucking out of here. Any actor you want. AAA actors, are totally fine because I don't know.
We encourage gender bending
like,
here. It's actually kind of fun when it pops up.
We do encourage gender bending at time. That's totally cool. But that being said, I will go first, or Justin will go first, or if you're like just really like wanting to go first, Tekking, you absolutely can.
No, you guys go. It's your show. Go for it.
All right, Justin.
I don't think if you picked my guy, I would be genuinely surprised.
Watch it be my first pick. I swear to
God. Watch
it.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
What do you got, Justin? Do you want to go?
All right. So, for anybody who knows me, we already know what's happening. First and foremost, Robert De Niro, the greatest actor to ever live. Can act anything, can do anything.
Bitch, that was mine. No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Okay,
it wasn't.
Ooh, I got scared.
This motherfucker, he does this every time. He says Robert De Niro. We literally casting called. I don't even remember. I think it was either Nami or Robin, and he's like, Robert De Niro can be anybody. Perfect actor.
I mean, Robert De Niro in Nami's bikini. Yeah, I'll watch that movie.
Thank you.
Yeah,
someone sees the vision. More serious answer. I was thinking of Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito has...
Okay. That's a good one. That's a really good one. Oh, my God.
Hey, Luffy, it's me. I shoot slow beam out of my hand.
That's perfect. No, if we ever get to that point in Netflix live action, it has to be Danny DeVito now, if he's still alive by then.
And in
it has to be him.
In the spirit of gender bending, I finally learned her name. Many of you will know them as the voice of Naruto in the dub and many other characters. I think her name is pronounced Maylee Flanagan.
That's funny. Yeah.
Also Principal Perry from that one Disney show called Lab Rats or something.
So you're suggesting Maylee being Foxy, like for the live action.
Yes.
Okay.
That works,
That'd be kind of fun.
And I love Naruto's voice actress because she's basically just like an old grandma. She's like really nice. Yeah.
She's very, very wholesome, very cute, or very nice.
Yep.
Is that your whole list, Justin?
Yes,
you got anybody else?
I secede my time.
All right. Well, now that you have seceded your time, the only true answer to this question is the latest and greatest Jack Black, baby. He would be a perfect Foxy. He'd be out here doing like guitar riffs on his fingers. I swear to fucking God, I can see it in my mind now, dude.
That's good.
You'd be the best fucking Foxy out here. I picked Jack Black. He's probably my number one pick. Moving on from Jack Black, just because I wanted to pick somebody a little bit younger, and I don't know, maybe they would be fun. I picked Tom Holland because maybe that'd be a good bit.
That one is so random, but I love it.
Hear me out here. So we got I will not pronounce his name correctly. Inigo Godi is the name of the Inigo. What is the gentleman's name who's playing Luffy for the live action?
Inaki Godoy.
Inaki, sorry. So Iñaki Godoy is going to be Luffy. I feel like I would rather have like a very like competitive matchup, like an energy with when they get to the Foxy arc, because that's obviously like Luffy's most important fight of all time. I mean, that's when he has to put on the afro to beat his enemy of all people. So I mean, like, there's clearly going to be like a rivalry there. I feel like Tom Holland's got the energy for it. I don't know. I think that could be a lot of fun. There's something in there. Moving on from your boy Tom Holland, I just picked the same person twice. I picked Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. Either one could be fucking Foxy, and they could be interchangeable at any given time.
Okay.
I would be more than happy to see them be Foxy at any capacity. All right, Tekking.
All right,
it is your turn, please.
My first go-to. And, if you're going to pick an anime character, you got to pick somebody that has a lot of crazy, wacky energy, like to the point where you're watching him in a movie and it's like, this man is insane.
Yes.
I got to go with Nicolas Cage on this one.
Wow.
Okay, hold on. Counter.
Yes.
I was going to say Buggy, but that's already been cast, so it can't be Nicolas Cage. Never mind.
No, it can't be. But Nicolas Cage, dude, here's the thing. Nicolas Cage is like, you're throwing a dart at a dartboard if it's just going to stick or not, because like
There's so many movies he's in where he just phones in his performance. He does not care. Yes. And then you get a movie where he just like 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D. You know, he just goes fucking nuts. And the idea of him dressed as Foxy boxing Luffy or whatever, like he's like, yeah, I'm Nicolas Cage, slow beam, you know. Him or Christopher Walken.
Oh, dude. Could you imagine fucking Foxy's bits, but with a Christopher Walken list? Oh my fucking God, dude.
I can't do a good Christopher Walken. I would here. But
hey, Luffy, why you calling me Splithead? Stop calling me Splithead.
slow beam. Slow beam. You know?
Slow beam. I don't have a good Christopher Walken either. But
yeah. Oh, dude, but those ones, I'm going to go with them.
That's good.
All right. That's incredible. Thank you, Tekking.
You're welcome.
That was perfect.
But Danny DeVito, I think, is the perfect. I think he has the body shape for it. Or maybe if he's getting a little old, Jack Black also would be a close second.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually surprised that I did not think of Danny DeVito for this bit. And you know the worst part is that in the back of my mind at one point I considered who's that fucking guy? The guy who Rob Schneider. I have to think of that South Park thing every single time.
Oh, Jesus.
I considered Rob Schneider. So the fact that I didn't think of Danny DeVito kind of haunts my dreams now. So that was a good pick. I got to give it to you, Justin. All right.
Dude,
Wiener.
I think, dare I say, we got to the... Is there anything else? Tekking, thank you for joining. Do you want to...
Yeah, this was really fun. I love this. Yeah.
I am very glad. Thank you. We are very glad. We try to be a very inclusive bunch over here, filled with nothing but nonsense. Also, I glanced over at the text group and everyone's... Oh!
I don't understand what any of this means.
Tekking.
What's up?
Hold on.
What?
We... oh, wait. Is it available? Did you guys... Nobody touch the tree. Skimpy. You fucked it up, dude. Okay, so the reason why so this is great for an audio-based platform,
is this about
by the way.
That tree in the general chat that I didn't ask questions, I didn't care.
Yeah, so we in our Discord, and Skimpy fucking ruined it because he watered it. But they were hoping you might water the tree once for us.
Oh, sure.
Except you can't because fucking Skippy did it, the bastard.
Oh, I see it. Okay, yes, you can't water it every 15. All right, I get it.
So if you don't have to do it like right now, but we can allow you an opportunity to chill in our Discord server for a little while. And if you could when
I get around to it, I could go and I can water it.
Yeah.
It's like the house plant I have upstairs in my living room. It's like whenever I remember, I water it.
All we ask is when we bring in some guests, if you could water our fucking plants for us because we're bad owners.
Why are you all
That's all I'm
chanting
asking
hot
for.
tub in the chat? What? Stop. What?
They're a fucking rowdy bunch in there. This is why.
Okay, I will not have to explain it since I brought it up. So Tekking.
If you see a yellow name too, that's our editor who's also probably partaking in the chaos.
He's also our overlord who runs this entire thing.
I talked to him, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
So the reason they, I assume, are chanting hot tub, at least some of them. A couple weeks ago, we went on a really big home improvement tangent about Brendan's deck or patio or whatever the proper term is.
Okay. Yeah.
And one thing led to another. And essentially, Brendan does not want a hot tub. He does not care for it. He has no interest in one. However, he went on, live air and said to the world, if people bought the hot tub and then just, left it on my place, I would host it and maintain it.
Okay.
And our community is really behind that, apparently.
I've tried that before. I've done that.
What do you people want from this conversation? Tekking, this is not about you. This is about them now. Why do you want us to bring this up? Why is the stupid hot tub joke so important to you?
I'll buy him the hot tub if you want me to buy it.
Shit.
No, stop.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Do not.
No, this is a great
but I get it. I'm on a home improvement kick too. I would like a hot tub, honestly. I don't know where I'd put it right now, but
if
you
can
put it on
thoughts,
Brendan's patio. Yeah, it's plenty of space.
This is a real. So I am a relatively new homeowner. I'm sure that you are probably no stranger to such a thing.
Just about a year and a half now. Yeah,
same, about a year myself, and I have a beautiful deck. I'm currently refinishing it as we speak, and all of my friends constantly berate me, as Justin has said, about getting this hot tub. And when it got put on cast, at first nobody gave a shit, but now it's slowly taking its fucking roots. Now I have internet friends and real life friends all telling me to get a hot tub, and I refuse to do so because I don't want to be the friend with a hot tub. Is all I'm saying.
I'm sorry. I love that concept. To be having the hot tub. There's a space on my deck that is the perfect spot, is the perfect size for a hot tub. But it's like a catch-22. It's like, okay, once I fill that space with a hot tub, you can't. It's there, you have it.
Yeah,
you can't fill it with anything else. It's gone. So if you wanted to use that space for anything else, you're too late. You can't.
I don't know. I do want a hot tub. Like, I genuinely love a hot tub.
Hey, man, if you want to get a hot tub for yourself and you want to take on that responsibility, I'm proud of you. You are a better person than I.
What's responsibility? Is it really that hard to take care of a hot tub? Well, I have friends that have a hot tub. It's not like super difficult.
Well, let me put it this way. If you're going to be somebody who wants to deal in chlorine, that is a commitment you have to deal with weekly as opposed to monthly.
It's easier than like an actual swimming pool or something.
Yes, it is a lot easier than a swimming pool. I'm more like, I just don't want to pay for the water for it because I live in an area where you have to pay for water. I'm not on a well. So
are you in the desert?
I'm not in the desert. No, I am not in the desert. Thankfully, I'm not in the desert. But I would still have to pay, I don't know, probably like seasonally, it would cost me probably like $300 to fill for the first time or something like that.
Yeah, that's probably about right. Yeah,
it wouldn't be fun. I don't want to have to spend $300 a season just to get my hot tub filled up.
Then I feel like you're thinking about this all wrong. You paid the $300 up front just to get the water into the tub, and then you just take that water when you're not using it, and then just put it in like a bucket or something, and then you can probably filter that water.
You know what I can do? I
can
use the hot tub to take baths in, so I don't use water for my shower. Right, of course. Then everything will just kind of like fall into.
I don't have this restriction, so I don't have to worry about that too much. But I imagine for me, it would just be fill up the hot tub once, maintain the chlorine levels and everything, make sure that's maintained, and then drain it in the winter, and then fill it up the next year, and then there you go.
All right, yeah. I mean,
or honestly, actually, even maybe use it in the winter because that's a hot tub. So there you go.
You are just a very you are a good person. I do not want any of this headache on my shoulders.
I don't know. See, no. I am the exact opposite of that. I will if there's something in my life that's like, this is too much of a pain in the ass, I don't want to deal with it, I will be the first person to be like, I'm going to go eat or take a nap or whatever. I don't want to deal with this shit right now.
I do want to ask, Tekking, you do have time to spare. Like, I don't want to keep you if you're busy or just don't want to be here anymore. Like, it's perfectly okay.
Well, how long is it until the tree?
The tree is another. Oh, here.
That wasn't even like
the tree is
the root of the issue. I was just like, if you have time to spare,
if you can hang with us for 8 more minutes,
8 minutes. I could. Yeah, that's not a problem. Yeah.
All right, cool. Discord questions.
Hit it.
Skippy was first, also because Brendan has a controversial opinion about this. Anyway, Skippy asks, Tekking, you're locked in a room and there are 2 keys. One is around a gorilla and the other is on a bear. Which one are you fighting for the key?
Okay, I love these hypotheticals. I love them. I have a whole book that are filled with these fucking hypotheticals. All right, so gorilla or a bear? What kind of bear are we talking here?
Let's make it easy, man. Let's go with black bear.
It's black bear. I'm going with the black bear 1,000,000%.
Yeah,
the black bear, there's a solid chance I might be able to make the black bear. The black bear might become my friend. The black bear might be
that's
like...
what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah. What?
Let's go with the gorilla
brown
bear, though.
Would probably look at me and kick my ass. The brown bear even would be fine. A grizzly and a polar bear, those might rip the shit out of me. But we have black bears around here. They're usually very skittish, and some of them can be actually just friendly. Like, they just don't really care about you. If you get between them and their cubs, they'll maul the crap out of you. But if that's not the case, then the gorilla would probably see me as a threat to like, hey, who the fuck is this guy standing upright? I'm the only one that can stand upright around here,
Yeah. So this question came up a little earlier, and the answer to me is very clear. The only shot any of us will ever have is if we go toe-to-toe with a bear. Even if you throw a polar bear in, we have one maybe chance of getting, and I don't think it's a big chance. It's a very limited chance.
Depends what the arena's like, too.
Well, I just feel like, on average, a gorilla can, chase our asses down almost anywhere, though.
No, I'm thinking, okay, no, yeah, obviously. And then a bear's super fast, too. I'm thinking,
Absolutely.
If I'm fighting in an area that's like a dirt ground, you could pick up dirt and, throw it in the bear's face or some shit. I don't know.
The only survival tidbit I've ever heard in my life, and I have nothing to equate it to for a gorilla, is that if you are ever attacked by a bear that is not running away because they are afraid of you, the only chance you have, and this is a true fact, is to shove your arm down their throat and hope that you kill it by suffocation. You just have to go all in.
You would probably lose the arm, but you'd probably live.
So supposedly their jaws don't have that much biting power. They have tearing power, but they don't have a lot of compression strength.
You know what? That actually, I believe, because that is how somebody, it wasn't a bear, it was like a cheetah or a jaguar or something, but there's this old picture of this like early 1900s big game hunter dude, and he was in Africa, and a fucking big ass cat attacked him, pounced on him, scratched the shit out of him, and he shoved his entire arm down this thing's throat and killed it. That's how he survived. Yeah.
That's the only tidbit I know. So if you were face to face with a bear or a gorilla, or you have a choice, I'm not saying you have a great chance. Or well, maybe if you're a cheetah too, a cheetah probably still fuck you up too. I don't know what to do with cheetah. I would just say I pick bear every time. All right, what's the next question, Justin? Give us another one.
I do want to bring it up, highlight this message from Gabriel, since he's the one who caused all this to happen. Thank you again, Gabriel. He writes, just wanted to say that this entire cast is wonderful. Tekking just vibed with you guys so perfectly, and this is absolutely worth.
Aww.
Thanks a lot, Tekking.
Thank you, Gabriel.
Aww.
Bear asked the question.
Yeah, Gabriel's a real one.
This one is a big thinking hat on. Do you think the existence of pirates is/was an intentional move by the government? They somewhat need pirates to remain relevant, and it seems a good excuse to maintain an international form of control over people.
Oh, yeah.
What I'm saying is that they need crime to justify control. And that is...
You know, this I was thinking about this a lot when the God's Knights were introduced, and it was like, okay, well, if these God's Knights are so powerful, why didn't they just attack the Yonko? Why did they not? Why do we have the Marines? Why do we have the Admirals? Why do we have the Warlords? And it's like, what if Eam, like, once they, like, either does not care about pirates existing, or that's all part of their balance of power to maintain, like, the world government's control.
They almost incentivize a certain level of chaos in order to give the idea to the rest of the world some level of control. I think
and also you could look at it as just distraction. You could be like, oh yeah, the pirates over there, they're the ones that are causing problem. Don't pay attention to what the world government's doing. We're the good guys, you know?
I think that's very fair. Very fair thought. Is there another one in there?
Do you have a favorite One Piece D&D moment?
Oh, there's so many.
You were Captain William, correct?
I was Captain William on One Piece D&D, and he managed to make it all the way through without dying. So
my God.
Go check out One Piece D&D Marines next Thursday on Rustage's Twitch, which is
you got your Marines one coming up.
Well, it's actually, we already did the first episode.
Hell
so this will be episode 2, and I play a guy named Kai, and it's really fun. But William, probably the first big moment was I was fighting against a character called Trevor, who was William's like brother, and he was like super powerful. And I just got really lucky in that fight, and I was able to blind him and then steal his sword, which I kept for the rest of the campaign. So that was really fun. And there was another time when we so I had a devil fruit that allowed me to like basically get every devil fruit in the story. It was broken as shit. And you roll for the devil fruit, and it just comes a random thing. And it's like 400 different fruits. Like there was even non-canon fruits on there. And there was one time where I'm like, I need to paint something, like paint the side of a ship. And I rolled the fruit, and I got Giola's art fruit from from Dressrosa. It was the perfect fruit. And I'm like, yeah. And then there you go.
Wow, what a fucking roll. That's incredible.
I think that's the one time in the entire story I actually rolled exactly what I needed exactly at that moment.
I don't play D&D very often, but I don't remember what my character did. But I had like the ability to summon, and my DM would tell us to roll a D100 to like bring my familiar into the game or whatever. And it would the number that corresponded to the monster would change every time I rolled the D100. And at one point I rolled, and I got whatever the number was. It came out to summoning this familiar called Pudding King, which is apparently like a real thing. It's like a mascot for some Japanese like pudding fucking thing or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, dude, Pudding King's my best friend. And I was so sad when I had to like desummon him. And then we played another session, and I rolled another number. And I swear to God, he was like, dude, you're not going to guess what you just fucking rolled. And I'm like, absolutely no shot. And then he showed me the spreadsheet that he randomizes that correlates to the familiar that I'm supposed to get on my roll. And I got Pudding King for the second engagement. And I'm like, Pudding King, you're back! Yes! My boy!
I love that. D&D is so much fun. It really is.
Dude, I fucking love that shit. It's so fucking dumb.
Quick, easy question. Toilet paper facing forward or back? Or under, over, however that's interpreted.
Oh, my one friend was over at my house a couple weeks ago, and they were like, yeah, your house is great. but you put your toilet paper in the wrong way. And I think I prefer it. Okay, what is it, like mullet as in back or front? It's in the back, I guess.
Wow.
The best way
I
for me
would
to
say
wrong.
most people put it in the front unless they have cats. That makes perfect sense because the cats like to unroll it or whatever.
All right, tree has now been watered. There it goes.
Beautiful. We did it.
Oh, it happened? Woo! Did he do it?
I did it.
Oh, catch the apples. You got to click the apples.
I don't know what I'm doing here.
You're fine, Tekking. Don't worry.
Okay.
That's part 2 to the tree.
Oh my God, there's a part 2?
Yeah, this fucking tree has taken over our hearts and minds for
This is a tall ass tree.
Yeah, I'm surprised we made a lot of progress in like a couple of months, honestly.
So if you're curious, every single time you water it, you get 1 foot out of it. When we first started, the cooldown was a lot faster. Like we're talking like 30 seconds. But as it gets taller, the cooldown gets longer and longer. And now we're on like 20-minute cooldowns.
It reminds me of, do you ever play a game called Plants vs. Zombies?
Been a very long time.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I mean, this was an old game. I played this when I was in high school. And it's like a little puzzle game. And they also have a thing like that where you grow a tree and the tree keeps growing larger and larger and larger. And like, like it's like 10,000 feet high or something, like ridiculous. But anyway.
Oh, man, that's great.
I'm going to get going because I have to. I'm going to go eat some dinner. And but this was a lot of fun. And I thank you for inviting me on. Thanks to Gabriel for bringing this to my attention.
Shout out to Gabriel.
Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you, Tekking, for joining us. Would you like to plug yourself before you step away?
I mean, I think most people. I have a channel called Tekking101. Like, if you like One Piece and Bleach,
if
you show up.
To come here and not know who this guy is, what the hell are you doing here?
It's not even like bragging. It's just like I've been on this platform for like 14 goddamn years at this point. It's like, it's like here we are. Oh God, it has been 14 years. Jesus.
Yeah, dude. I had that realization about loving this show for that long. Yeah,
when I realized that, like, God, I really am like old guard on YouTube. That's weird to me. Yeah, maybe not old guard. Maybe like second generation. I don't know.
Hell yeah! All right, Justin, do the thing. Close us out. Thank you, Tekking, again for joining us.
Thank you so much,
Justin. Do the thing. He doesn't have to be here for the thing. You can just do the thing.
I'll be here for the thing. Go ahead.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to this very, very special collaborative effort. We hope to have Tekking on again.
Absolutely. Love to be on.
If you wish to interact with us on social media, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Panda Sightings. If you want to send us emails, you can do so at pandasightings@gmail.com. If you want to, hopefully one day we do this again, and you want to be part of the live recordings, we have a Discord in our link tree. Go click on that. Join our community. There's awesome stuff happening here. And, if you want to, financially support us, we have a Patreon also on the link tree. We greatly appreciate it. We could buy that hot tub for Brendan.
No one's buying a hot tub for Brendan. We're not doing that. That's still not happening.